Good potato up there.
Welcome everybody, as we get ready to begin.
Oh, you squashed his hair.
Well, yeah, his hair is a little off. We'll start the intro music. We are here live for a brand new episode of the Dave's Gone By radio program of the Potato. Do not go away. It's going to be great. Here's our intro.
Good morning. There goes the neighborhood. There's much rejoicing.
Didn't your meds kick in yet?
Yeah, they had a left of the series, Long Island Arts guys.
I
want you all to really enjoy a wonderful program done by a fine artist.
A glorious thing of unparalleled beauty.
Dave's Gone By. Dave's one of my very favorite broadcasters, so keep on listening to Mr. Dave.
Oh, yeah, well, okay, I can go over it. Here you go. There we go. How's that?
Oh no! Oh look, you're getting thumbs up. Someone getting thumbs up. Right.
Yeah. Oh, let me get these here.
Around at night. I'm playing this music.
Oh, okay. Remember how to work this thing.
Just do this.
Yeah, I hit the wrong one. Welcome. There goes the neighborhood. Good morning, everybody. Here we are, live once more with you on this, and the disembodied hand, and of course the potato with a special wig made. We have to thank our dog. We have to thank our dog Oopty Goopt for donating the hair that is now on the top of one of our bald potatoes' heads. The rest of the potatoes have hair and well, not hair, but they have hats.
The potatoes don't have it.
No, well, because they're young.
The potato's a different color.
Yeah, well, that potato, this one, he's got a mustache. This one,
oh wow,
he was
that's
an early grower. Yeah.
Oh, wow, he's like a Cossack.
Well, good morning, everybody. We got. Let's see. It's showing that someone sent a comment. Reggie, thank you, Reggie. Unfortunately,
gave us a thumbs up.
Let's see if I can read your comment.
He gave a thumbs up.
Oh, Art Paul Schlosser says hi.
Click on that.
Let me see if it'll do that. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Oh, wait, all these people. David from my high school, and Ian, and Joseph, and Art. And I said Art Paul and Reggie. And Art Paul says, I see you trying to give Saturday morning cartoons a run for their money. That's
because
true.
He lost his hair. That's why.
Yeah. And I got to tell you, so much to talk about. But, all right. First of all, remind me, I want to talk about, of course I'll talk about the potatoes and the idea of having so many of these doll-like things, because something happened earlier in the week I want to talk about briefly. But I also want to tell your friends, remind people, unfortunately, that once again, we were unable to get into the radio station building here on campus. Now that classes have stopped for the spring semester and are over and finals are over, everything is, there's painting going on, there's chaos, it's a cluster. So there's something with a key and a lock and a thing, and I come here on a Saturday morning and I want to do what I always do and can't or couldn't. The only difference is, the problem is we're not streaming on our usual audio stream. The radio station is just playing pre-recorded music now over on our official stream. No, it's good stuff. It's playing off my own external hard drive that I got for them, and I'm going to take back from this miserable university.
Hey.
What? I'm just saying.
Control yourself.
Well, no, hey, and as far as universities go, at least we're not USC. For once.
What's that say? Just give them a summary.
UNC.
People don't know what is happening. Tell them.
Well, yeah, I'm not 100% sure of the whole story, but we're at the University of.
It was very nice.
Thank you. We're at the University of Northern Colorado.
We're young and happening.
In Greeley, Colorado, and usually we're the redheaded stepchild because everybody thinks of UNC. They think North Carolina.
Tell them. So when I first came here, they gave me a satchel. So I took it on the plane. It says UNC. So I'm sitting next to a guy, and he's like, "Oh, that's my alma mater." And I said, "Oh," I said, "Are you from Colorado?" He said, "No, North Carolina." I said, we're UNCO, but the bag said UNC, so he thought it was the other.
Yeah, the other
yeah,
UNC. I had that with a press agent a couple of weeks ago. She said, "Oh, my mother went to UNC." I'm like, "Really?" And it's like,
say
no.
UNCO. That's what I say.
UNC.
Yeah.
So usually we have a Title IX thing. There's something horrible going on. Our president left. We're in a horrible deficit right now. We're in pretty rotten straits.
Is this like one of those greed stories? It sounds like you're
probably was greed at the top.
Yeah, greed.
But anyway, I don't give a shit. We're not going back into the radio station anymore. David? What? I'm just saying.
I want my back. So just go ahead. So say what happened. What's the USC?
But UNC was not in the news this week. The president of USC, University of Southern California, had to step down this week because they had at the university a gynecologist who was, let's just say, he was doing more to the girls than checking them up.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's creepy.
Yeah. Apparently, finally, somebody fingered him, which was the reverse of what else was going on. But
So tell them what's going to be on the show. Are you going to read a cow for Hansel?
Yes, it's going to be a really great show, even though we don't have our audio stream. We certainly have our video stream. Thank you, Facebook. Thank you, all our Facebook viewers and watchers and listeners. It's great to see you, and we hope to have bunches more in the 3+ hours that we'll be here doing a brand new Dave's Gone By Live on this Saturday, May 26th, 2018.
Memorial Day.
That's right. It's Memorial Day weekend. I forgot about that. So this is a perfect way to start your week. Don't go driving because gas prices are now $3 a gallon. Wow. Don't go flying because airline rates are going to go up. Don't go out. It's hot. And the middle of the country, the East Coast is getting all these storms. Yeah. And there's or Alberto is some kind of hurricane or.
I think it's a Mexican restaurant down the road. Alberto's. Yeah.
That's right. I mean, it makes a tornado come out of your ass when you're done eating. So you don't need to do anything else than watch this. I was going to say listen to this, but watch.
Can you? They also can listen. So I could listen to it on Facebook without watching it. Can't you listen?
Sure. Well, actually, probably if you keep the file open, you can do other things on your computer.
You could do dancing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cloud dancing.
Cloud dancing. If you're from USC, you can do raping. Whatever you want to do while you're listening to this program of the air. And this is why you should listen or watch this particular episode. It is our 652nd episode of the Dave's Gone By TV program of the stream. I need to stop calling it a radio show almost.
Because you've advanced into what? So, okay.
Yeah, this is an advancement.
I work with someone who's a millennial, and she would say, now you're into the current time. It's like David's radio show, but of current time. This is current radio. It's called Facebook or
it really is
podcasting,
which is really no different from what they were doing in 1947 when people started buying TV sets.
No, I think that's not true because years ago, even before Netflix and all the alternative thing, you only had a few networks. Now anyone who has a webcam and can get on the interwebs can do this.
A tin can with a string with a video camera on the end of it. You're broadcasting.
No, you need Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I am the next Amy Schumer just by doing this right now. Yeah, I don't know, or who else? Name somebody else.
Any pod person. You're going to be the next serious.
Well, I'd love to be the next Mark Maron. That's all I hope for at this stage of my life. I wanted to be Woody Allen many years ago. Wanted to be Charlie Chaplin. I'll settle for fucking Mark Maron now because he had a podcast and that lets him do stand-up comedy and write books. And he got famous. Podcasting because he was doing stand-up for 20 years. Nobody heard of him.
You can too.
Yeah,
that can be you. When we're in New York, that you can be the podcast capital.
I will. That's
and then if you get your board, you could podcast from all parts of New York. You could podcast from theaters.
I want to podcast from Kotzebue, Alaska. That's
too far.
You think?
You don't even like heat. What are you gonna do with cold? You don't like cold.
I like cold a little more than heat, even though I'm already 54 and it's changing as they always tell you it would. When you're in your 20s and 30s, hot is miserable, but cold, you can always put on more clothing.
Yeah.
When you get older and you start losing bone density or whatever else, suddenly it's like, heat is all right, but if it goes under 30 degrees, chilly and wet and clammy and
You sound like someone from Florida.
Exactly. That's why my people move to Florida. They hit 60 and suddenly 70 degrees is, whoa, I'm freezing. Oh, get the heated blanket.
How does Harry Potato feel? Ask him.
How does Harry Potato? Well, this is good hair day for Potato.
Yeah, he's got like a pompadour, no? What would you call
He does.
it?
He digs it.
That's right. He's like Justin Bieber of the potato world.
There's also
He's
like Brian
styling.
Williams if you flatten him down a little bit. Look at that.
You can make him who?
Well, let's see. I can put a little
Do
forward.
it like Shatner. Make him like Shatner.
Okay, there we go. That's not quite like. He's looking good.
He's
I'm digging it.
We
Yeah.
got to get him some hair gel and some combs and stuff.
Oh yeah. I can see him with an updo.
He looks good.
Yeah.
He looks really. I like it. It's like little triangles. Cute.
And by the way, we are looking good here in the neighborhood because we actually have a besides all this banter, we've got a show for you today. As a matter of fact, if you're into folk or traditional kinds of music, we have one of the legends of the 1960s talking to us. That's right. Yeah, awesome. Yeah. If you remember from that era of Tom Paxton and Phil Oakes and Peter, Paul and Mary and Odetta and who else?
Potato.
It was and Potato, of course. Who else was part of that scene? Mark Spolstra and
Wow.
Well, anyway, some of those people, especially into the mid '60s, started doing traditionalist stuff, but in a very fun way. And the time was ripe. The music scene was open for, of all things, a jug band. A good-timey, old-fashioned jug band. I kid you not. Washboard, right? Kazoo.
Isn't that, what's that show? What's the show there? Hee Haw. Isn't that Hee Haw?
Hee Haw goes
Yeah,
there. Yeah, because it's like whatever you had on hand. And then, of course, you'd have a guitar
You
and
need
a fiddle.
something.
And but so you augmented it with all this really homemade, down-home, tissue paper, kazoo, probably a Jew's harp. What else?
We have a faculty member who teaches students how to make a banjo out of a cigar box, and they learn about acoustics. He's a guitar player who's just an audiologist or speech-language pathology. And at the end, they all come at the end. They're beautiful. They're like cigar box. They do the right, whatever they're called, chords or whatever. They make all the strings. They make the whole thing. They play them. It's gorgeous.
And if you do that for like 20 years, you still get lung cancer. It makes no sense.
It's awesome, though. What an awesome thing.
That is a totally awesome
If I had
thing.
any kind of dexterity, I'd love to do that. But I can't.
And I've got zip in the dexterity fashion. But someone who does have that dexterity is our new friend of the neighborhood, Jim Kweskin. Have you ever heard of Jim Kweskin's Jug Band? He started in the early 60s, was playing, I think, down in the usual clubs where Dylan and Pete Seeger were playing.
Or what?
Yeah, well, I don't know about the Village Vanguard, but like McCabe's and Gaslight, those places.
Wow.
Jim Kweskin got the band together, and for years.
What kind of music would it be?
It's kind of traditional, real folky bluegrass down home with a hint of jazz.
We have the jazz festival next weekend, I think, is it? Or 7th and 8th, I think, is the blues
here in
fest,
Greeley. Yeah. Well, Jim Kweskin is going to be playing in New York at Joe's Pub.
Oh, nice.
On this Wednesday night, May 30th. So go see him. Go see Joe. No, he won't have a whole.
Just bring a jug or bring your own instruments and start playing along.
If you're a woman, bring 2 jugs. If you're from USC, prepare to have them handled. But so go see him in New York. He will have a band. It won't just be him solo. So, but it won't be the old Jim Kweskin jump band. Did you bring your
clog dancing too? Did you do clog dancing?
You can totally clog. I mean, I love that. Instead of a mosh pit, maybe they'll have a clog pit. And speaking of a clog pit, how's that coffee working? To drink this morning. Okay, all right. Anyway, I'm on this morning.
Let's do Greeley Crimes in Old Time.
Well, hold on. Let me talk about a couple of things. Hold on.
Okay.
First of all, the person interviewing, Jim Kweskin, by the way, unfortunately, alas, will not be yours truly. I didn't get to do the interview, but the person who did, guess who, babe?
You should have hooked up your speakers.
Oh, I didn't think of that. To this, it'll come out sounding better.
Yeah.
We maybe try it in a little while. But Rabbi Saul Solomon, the one, the only, the Jewish Rabbi Saul, will be interviewing Jim Kweskin of Jim Kweskin's Jug Band later in the show. And yes, we will play music, although if you want to hear the music the way it's supposed to be, what you'll do is go listen to this show once it's in our archives, because then you can hear it better and we don't have to pot it down to avoid getting killed by Facebook every half hour. So there's always something. So here's what happened to me earlier in the week.
Squirrel attack?
Now I've got, and bless you all, I've got 4,600 people on my Facebook.
That's what friends
are for. They follow the show, which is wonderful.
Emojing. That's what friends are for, to send you potatoes.
And some of these people I know personally. A lot of people I know from just correspondence, so I know who they are.
Did they do your show in Mumbai or where?
Oh, that's my yes. I have people from India because they did a one-act play of mine last year in the middle of Chennai, India.
Chennai,
yeah.
Thank you.
So they're people, right? And it's weird. I went through a period recently where I got very few new friend requests, which is fine. I tend to get some newbies whenever I do a show because I have a guest on and that guest knows people and has friends, etc.
That's called social networking.
Yeah, exactly. And it's led to having 4,600 people.
Do you want your happy hat?
Hopefully most of them still alive. My hat's in my bag. Right? Okay, it's right there. To be on my Facebook feed and to be with us, which is great. And now, over the past 2-3 weeks, I've started getting a blitz of friend requests of new people. So I figure, well, Tom Melcher from Show Score was here last week. Yeah.
Probably pre-Tony.
But some of them are spam. Some of them you can tell it's somebody fishing. But how do I know? Because it's a 20-year-old girl who's half naked.
Is it like a cat, like the catfish? That's that catfish what they do. Yeah.
It's not even that they want to date or mess with my mind. Sometimes it's other sort of things where they want to scam. Yeah. Let me explain. So this time, I get a friend request from a rather famous Hollywood film director.
Okay.
Seriously. And the guy has a page. He's got a Facebook page, right? And I'm also cautious because I've gotten a few spam things too. But I'm thinking, but at the same time, there are famous people who are my Facebook friends. They've been on the show. They like the show, whatever. I've interviewed.
Let me ask you something. Yeah. If you get a scammer and you make them your friend, what do? Defriend them?
Oh, you can unfollow. You can block. You can unfriend.
Oh, okay.
So, but I get a message. Well, not even a message. Just say a friendship request from this Hollywood director who makes blockbuster movies, but also small independent films.
Oh, so that's great.
And I'm thinking, whoa, this is way cool. Okay, this is somebody I would normally want to interview, but I want to make sure. So I send a message to this person, and I say, I'm just checking to make sure this is not spam, or is this a real
before you friend
request?
Them.
Yeah. Okay. Before I say yes, friend you, I say, okay, are you who you? I don't want to say, are you who your name says
sure it's real. Yeah, I understand.
And I send it, and then I just get back like, yes. So I'm like, okay. So it isn't a bot. It's an actual person.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, why the hell?
This is educational.
Well, the weird thing, the thing that's going through my mind is, why would this Hollywood director hear about the show, which is great, and then want to be a friend of the neighborhood, want to like and follow the show?
Because of Miracle.
Who knows? Who knows? And then it occurs to me, he did this after the last time we did it from this studio, from my office. And one of now this, as I keep saying, this man has made box office blockbusters, right?
Did he do anything like toys or anything?
One of his small, like, I want to make this film for me films.
Oh no, Small Potatoes?
No, it's not the Small Potatoes guy.
If it was Small Potatoes, that would be just awesome.
I'd be jumping for. I wanted to interview the Small Potatoes people. They never got back to me. So
they're like Ruby a little bit.
Yeah, they are. So no, this guy did. It's not a documentary, but a very small indie film.
Okay.
Even though he was already quite famous about things that go on in a doll factory.
Oh.
And I'm thinking, he sees this.
Yeah,
he sees me surrounded by this.
And they don't even see the wallpaper.
Well, oh yeah, well that's I want to spin this around, but so I'm thinking he probably thinks I'm a lunatic.
I'll take a picture of the wallpaper and you can just show them on my phone.
Who collects dolls. And therefore, he's always had this fascination and interest with how dolls are put together. Or an obsession.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm thinking, okay, this is real. This fella is now going to be a friend of the neighborhood. He's a Hollywood guy. I'm like, all right, I'm moving up in the world. This is how you get known. This is how you get word out about a podcast, about a broadcast, and you try and move up in the world and get people to know your name and get gigs and get speaking engagements and get
Flail your arms.
The ability to become famous. So, I say yes to this fellow's friend request. And then the next day, I get a message back from him, and the message in somewhat. Oh, let me show this to people. Whoa, this is our wallpaper. Let's see if I can show it.
Just tilt the phone forward the other way. Oh, no, I don't know.
It's a little. No, it's funny. It's the lighting of the computer. It's hard to see. It really is hard to see. But that is a wall of potato fabric. I don't even,
Don't you have any extra you could wear? I'd love to make you something for Potato Day.
Oh, we could. I can always order more.
Yeah,
it wasn't that expensive, honestly. I've got my whole back wall here.
Why don't we make a shirt or something like that?
I would love that.
You can make a shirt and like a Hawaiian T-shirt.
Do you know how to draw? Do you know how to make a shirt?
Tony can sew.
If Tony would make a shirt, I would absolutely wear this shirt.
Yeah.
Although I do have the French fry shirt for this Potato Day.
Oh God, yes.
So anyway, I get a message.
What does he say?
Saying in somewhat broken English, have you heard about grant opportunities? I'm like,
oh no.
Because there was this guy from a couple of weeks ago, this African former head of state or semi-head of state, and who wanted to be a friend of the neighborhood. Loved this, and it says, have you heard about grant application opportunities? And I'm thinking, this is kind of a cool thing to apply for grants, entertainment grants. And I said, what do you think? He said, well, he didn't mention giving any money, but I already looked and I could tell this was a scam that had been done. If you want,
I could show you where to get grants. You
don't need to look at but what I'm saying is,
you do it like a PSA,
whatever they're doing, somewhere in the deepest, darkest heart of Africa, there's people doing this who...
or it could be like anywhere.
Yeah, they spoof, I guess is the word. They spoof people's Facebook accounts.
That's catfishing.
Yeah, it's not catfishing to just mess with someone's love life. This is eventually to get them to pay you money.
When you play, when you pretend that you're, I don't know, who would you like to be when potatoes pretend they're you?
Who can I spoof to be?
You should do a whole show where potatoes are you. Like have a potato podcast where they just do their whole, maybe for Potato Day, they could just do a podcast and talk and everything.
Well, we could literally set the camera up because we'll be at Potato Day. It's always on a Saturday. And we'll just have a potato show. We'll just have the potatoes on camera.
You just bring this.
Yeah. And probably get better ratings than I get with this fish dunk in the show.
You could charge you have to charge the battery though.
On which?
On this.
Oh, I don't think I can. This thing is, I don't know if it can run on anything but.
No, it has battery.
This?
Yeah, look.
Oh, fabulous.
So you're charging the battery now.
Oh, yay. Because this thing will work. This has a battery. We have another computer here that I just use to play music. But anyway, I unfriended this Hollywood director because he wasn't really a Hollywood director. He was some guy in a hut saying, let me scam white people. Anyway, so I blocked him, and that's not good. So if you actually have grant opportunities to send me that are legitimate, that will help me bring my one-man show back to New York, drop me an email, davesgoneby@aol.com.
I'm going to send you an email.
Yeah, please do. davesgoneby@aol.com, and just say, I don't know, real grant opportunity for Dave.
It says there's grant opportunities.
Or any other kind of opportunities for free food. Opportunities for what else? Hair growth. Because if it works for Potato, it could work for me. By the way, welcome to Billy and Reggie and David and Ian and Joseph and Red. Not a lot of people. Usually, more people sign on later in when we do
early.
this.
Usually by 11 o'clock.
Yeah. Bruce is probably sleeping.
Hour. It's only 9:30 by 10. Usually 10, 11. Yeah.
And where's Chauncey? I don't see Chauncey today. And who else?
Oh, you can invite people. Look.
Don't have time to deal with that. Where do you see that?
Lower left corner.
Wow. I should do this earlier and start inviting
You don't
people.
want to see what it does?
Yeah, let's see.
You can invite,
I could. Yeah, let's see. Okay, let's just start inviting people. Hey, Fred isn't on? Come on, Fred. What's the matter with you?
I see.
People might get mad if I do that. Oh, and Sam. Good old Sam.
You can scroll down.
I was going to scroll down. I'm just going to invite people. This is a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
Of course, hey. Guy who's interested in the radio station.
Don't mention grants.
Don't mention, well, yeah, that's right. Oh, Bonnie in New York, and Billy's already watching, so I don't need to invite him, but I just did.
Hey, Bill.
I don't know, not sure who that guy is. What the hell? I could end up, all right, I'll do this.
Just do it with your right and left hand.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Okay. You go here.
Yeah, just clickaroo. Yeah, I guess we could do this. I've got 4,000 people to invite every Saturday morning. I should start doing this. All right. Just a couple more. Yeah, invite him.
Yes.
Yeah, invite her.
Invite her. She's a sexy friend.
All right, here we go. Oh, hey, Lisa, come on. Why aren't you watching Lisa
People
yet?
are sleeping.
That's true.
Invite him. Tell Lisa we saw her paintings.
Oh, yeah, Lisa, we saw your paintings. Lisa is a friend who calls us on our New Year's Eve shows. She's also in my writing group, and she's a painter. She's an artist. She works in all different media. And we just went to the gallery. Yeah, she's doing pastel drawings at Madison on
Main. Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, they're very cool. So, yay, Lisa, and yay, everybody. So, yes, Rabbi Saul Solomon talking to Jim Kweskin today in the neighborhood. Also, we will go inside Broadway for news of the Rialto, as we're only 2 weeks away from the Tony Awards coming up. We'll also have story time with more of a cow for Hansel. Yes, you asked for it. We got it. A cow for Hansel. We'll have a brand new Wretched Pun of Destiny, all about golf. We'll have a Colorado Limerick of the Damned. We have a new Limerick. This one will be about Aspen. Aspen, the town, or the city, I guess, in Colorado. We're going to do, God, isn't that enough? But we also have this way cool segment that we've been doing for a couple of months called Dave's Big Dictionary. Has to do with Joyce will thumb through this Merriam-Webster dictionary.
I have a marker that's erasable. I have a whiteboard.
If there's, I only have an erasable marker in my stuff. Is in my other bag. Oh well. Just I'll remember the word, but I'll need you to thumb through, literally with your thumb. At random, Joyce will pick one of these 75,000 words in this happy little book. And she's doing that right now. And she did. So what word did your finger land on? This was totally random, and I will have to talk about it.
Virgin.
What?
Virgin, free from stain, spotless, chaste.
No.
Befitting a virgin, modest, fresh, unspoiled, not altered by human activity. Initial first.
Okay. I'm not going to tell the story of how I lost my virginity, but I will tell. Yeah.
Virginia creeper, North American vine related to the grapes that has leaves with 5 leaflets and bluish blackberries.
Okay.
Or Virginia reel, a country dance.
Yeah. Okay. Well, still, that's Virginia already. No, your finger landed on virgin, as mine did many years ago. So, ow. Oh, thanks so much for that word, dear.
I'll do another here.
No, that's the rules. That's the word I've got to talk about later in the show. I'll think about some story, some anecdote, some aspect of the word
the squirrel?
Virgin. What about
your first encounter with the squirrel?
It's not my first encounter with a squirrel, but we do have. So I guess we talked about this last week on the show, that there's a psycho squirrel that's by the doors, the side doors of one of the buildings here on campus, the building where my wife works. And so what the squirrel, I don't know what that's for. There's a guy apparently who feeds the squirrel. I mean, literally, even by hand, he will hold up, not an acorn, or whatever the hell they eat, and give it to them. And this, of course, tames, supposedly, the squirrels and makes them less afraid of humans.
Oh, yeah.
Which is stupid, because now they look to humans, especially when there aren't this many kids around throwing away garbage and eating. The squirrels get into it, and they're like, hey, we're hungry. What happened to all that food we had during the rest of the year? Yeah. So I'm coming to see you a few days ago through this entrance in the building, and there's a squirrel. And I'm trying to get to the front door.
Carrying the goods.
Yeah. And I'm bringing you a peanut butter sandwich because you're hungry. So I'm carrying this sandwich in a supposedly hermetic plastic
I don't think it's hermetic.
wrapped thing. And I guess the squirrel sees me. Squirrel sees food. Possibly has a smeller that can smell peanut butter through sealed plastic, which, peanut butter has
it does have odor.
And suddenly I'm like walking, and this squirrel cuts in front of me, then circles around me, keeps looking at me, crawls up the thing. It's like, a little for your old squirrel pal. And I'm terrified because these things, they bite. They might have rabies. You go.
Oh, I want to tell you, P.S. Yeah. We were driving on Highway 34, and my friend Tony said, you have to bring David here. On Highway 34 and 85th Street, 85th Street or Avenue, they have marmots with babies. Just like the marmot babies. I told her we saw the marmot babies at TJ Maxx.
Oh, they're so cute.
And even she said they were awesomely cute, and they were so teeny.
Yes.
She almost stopped us in the middle of Highway 34 to show me.
And this is a beautiful thing. Remember a couple of days ago, we were over at Target and TJ Maxx, and we saw the marmot babies. Yeah. And we also saw a marmot who was gray-black. Remember that? Never seen anything like that before, because they're always usually earth-colored, mud-colored.
Supposed to blend in. He probably was like maybe...
he was the color of...
Like Pepe Le Pew.
Yeah, like... Who's in Mary Poppins, the Dick Van Dyke scrub brush?
He was Pepe. He looked like a little skunk.
He did. He might have been an actual skunk.
Marmots be black.
Not on this side of the neighborhood, but yeah.
No.
What do they say? Joyce is checking on her telephone whether marmots or these are actually prairie dogs. If prairie dogs...
Someone asked, can they have one?
Yeah. He's the black prairie dog of the family. And
this one is a black cat marmot, but does he look the same?
No, this thing was literally slate, steel, gray prairie dog. Amongst all the other prairie, like he's going up to his mama and going, "Hey, I'm here, woo, woo," which is what those things do. So he was cute, but then seeing the little babies running around, which are, see, for me, it's fun and exciting and joyful to just go to a marmot or a prairie dog field and watch them.
Did it look like this one?
Look at them. Yeah.
Okay.
Could have been him.
Yeah, it's a hoary marmot.
I beg your pardon?
Look, that's him, see?
Oh my God!
That's him.
He was a hoary black marmot.
Rare, rare.
Rare.
Yeah.
Well, he was. Look, that looks like a bear when I show it on this screen.
I know, but it was. Let me see if it gives any intel.
I should, I better keep my virgin away from the hoary black marmot. That'd just be a bad combination right there.
That's what he looks like.
Yes. Wow.
But
isn't nature wonderful?
I'm going to find out if it says anything more.
Although today...
It's just a stock photo. That's not what I want.
Later on in the show, we're going to move away from the varmint varieties, and we're actually going to be talking about squids and cephalopods and octopi, because we have some information about them. We'll be doing Greeley Crimes at All Times. We'll be doing, as I said, Inside Broadway, Jim Kweskin, Rabbi Sol.
Color diversity in marmots. It's a peer-reviewed journal article.
Whoa!
Look, they have a whole bunch of them.
Okay, I guess they're all. Maybe there's calico. Wouldn't you love to see a calico prairie dog? I think that would be adorable. He wouldn't be able to hide very much from hawks, because the hawk would be 8,000 feet up and go like, "What the hell is that?" Oh, okay, got one. Yeah. Anyway,
they don't show pictures though.
Well, they ought to. Let me get this set for our first segment of the show that we pretty much do every week, and it's courtesy of the Greeley Tribune newspaper. What?
It says the dark marmot lives in the Grand Teton National Park.
Okay.
But this is the more dark one, and that's the more typical.
Yeah,
so maybe he's somehow...
He migrated. He got onto a truck from people who go to Estes Park.
Yeah, but the Grand Teton National Park?
Well,
Yellowstone? That's pretty far.
Well, remember, you were looking at marmots, and these were prairie dogs. that we were seeing in the is a different species. Marmots go up higher. Marmots have to be like 8,000 feet elevation. Yeah. Excuse me. Anywho, while Joyce is looking that up, let me remind you that this program is partially brought to you by the fine folks at Hewlett Minuteman Press, the copy kings of Broadway in Hewlett, Long Island. If you have any kind of copy jobs that you need done, black and white, single-sided or color photographs, if you need things laminated or spiral bound or perfect bound, if you are doing big presentations, if you have flyers and posters and balloons, and you want to get your corporate logo on them, or articles of clothing or sports equipment, Hewlett Minuteman Press, Hewlett Minuteman Press is the place to go. The Torong family,
maybe he's a different species.
Maybe, has owned and operated Hewlett Minuteman since the mid-1970s. They still do amazing work. They're right in the heart of Hewlett, Long Island, about 2.5 blocks from the LIRR station, and they're open during the summer. They're open 5 days a week from 8:30 to 5:30, so give them a call. 516-569-5577. Area code 516, 569-5577. And if you tell them Dave sent you, you get 10% off any job, big or small, just by giving them a call. 516-569-5577. Hewlett Minuteman Press. They are the copy kings. So, how are we doing on our prairie dog search?
No, they don't have any. I think he must be a marmot that got in with them.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Maybe. Could have been a skunk.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how sometimes an animal will take in
like an orphan,
a furry metal mother monkey kind of animal.
But he was so little.
Well, yeah,
cute.
He was cute. We could adopt him if we find him again. Was you like a little gray, hoary prairie dog running around?
I have you.
On that note, it's time for Greeley Crimes at All Times. Yay! Oh, yeah. We have more noisemakers.
No, just has the
Where's
farm.
my coffee? Oh, here.
Just has the farm. That's all I need.
Nagagata! Squiddly-doo. Squiddly-dum. Squiddly-doo. Yes, we go, thanks to the Greeley Tribune, to Greeley Crimes at Old Times every week. It's based on 2 articles in our local newspaper, one of which...
See the second comment.
Let's see if I can do the comments there. We have a comment from somebody. Let's see. No, it's not letting us.
No?
No, that's all we can do. Okay. One column has to do with phone calls that come into the Greeley Weld County Police Dispatch. Folks call in 911, help, there's something bad going on.
Got his hair.
Oh,
He called in, he said he lost his hair, he wants a hair.
And look how the police...
Oh, that's cute, you did it nice. He looks like Grover.
Now, the police beat the shit out of him first, but then they give him hair.
He looks like Ernie.
Or
Bert.
Bert has that hair. Ernie's got a lot of hair.
Yeah, Ernie has more hair.
Ernie's more like this, if you can imagine this eyebrow on top of his head. Wait, let's see. There we go. Oh, isn't he great?
He's hiding.
Oh, okay.
He's incognito.
So that's one aspect of Greeley Crimes at Old Times. The other, the Old Times part, is there's a guy named Mike Peters. He's semi-retired from the Trib, but he's still there. And let me just find this bloody column. Here we go.
Yeah.
He goes into the newspapers from 100 years ago and finds the goofiest, most nostalgic, craziest things that were printed literally in the Greeley Tribune Republican back in 1918. And he does that in a column every week, still in the new Greeley Tribune. Do you want more noisemakers? Do you need that? Looks good? Okay. All right. You ready? You ready, folks?
Yes, sir.
Ready for Greeley Crimes at All Times for this Saturday, May 26th, 2018. Our show, by the way, is called, what are we calling this show? Oh, it's called, you'll love this, Questlove. Get it? For Jim Kweskin, who'll be the guest later in the Questlove. Hey, I was going to call it Nice Jugs, so yeah, at least give me that.
Oh, that's good.
Our first Greeley crime of the morning. Police received a call from 71st Avenue.
Whoa.
The caller complained of, quote, 6 to 10 kids
Yeah.
with torches.
What?
who were, quote, possibly doing a ritual.
Well, if you're going to get your torch out in the summer, you might as well do a ritual.
Yeah, that's what I think. There's
With torches?
Yeah, because I would let like 9-year-old boys run around with torches.
What's on 71st?
Is that where Frankenstein's laboratory is?
No, it's a big intersection. That's weird.
Yeah, I have no idea. And I don't mean like in England when they say get a torch and actually mean a flashlight.
Maybe they were doing some kind of like Olympic game or something.
Maybe the Olympic burned down the house game.
That's so weird.
Yeah. Anyway, police also received a call. Here's that call. You know who's calling? 23rd Street Road.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's very complex.
The caller reported a man with a flashlight, and actually an English torch, feeding a neighbor's dog a piece of meat. So, of course, they called the cops on this man feeding the neighbor's dog some meat. Police later learned, so remember, our tax dollars, police had to investigate this.
It's what we call, like, when we go away, we watch Susan's Kitties. When we're away, she watches. It's called, like, pet care.
Police later learned the suspicious man was dog sitting for the owners who are on a road trip.
Just tell your neighbors, like, our dog sitter's going to be there.
It's like 16 years since 9/11. I think we've come to the point where if you see something, don't say anything. You just shut the fuck up and go away.
Can't they just like tweet? Just tweet something.
Yeah. You don't need to say something. Nobody's blowing anything up. Somebody's feeding the dog out of kindness or is getting a free meal out of it.
Yeah.
Let it be. Let it. Oh boy. You need to make noise too.
No.
Bang on the thing there. Ladies and gentlemen, and it's the first time in a couple of weeks, a Fort Lupton alert. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is exciting. Whenever we mention Fort Lupton, we have to alert people and let them know.
Lupton.
That's probably more people on that voice thing than in Fort Lupton.
Probably.
Alert.
Yes, it's a Fort Lupton alert, ladies and gentlemen. It'll go. It's good. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, that's good.
A severe snowstorm, unusual for the second week in May, has slowed the harvest of wheat and other crop plantings in the Fort Lupton area. Boy, news was exciting in this town 100 years ago, wasn't it?
That was shocking.
But it was about Fort Lupton, so that made it alertable. I love Fort Lupton. Say it with me. I've got a lot of people watching now, a lot of people on
the... What about Dacono?
Dacono is Dacono.
You like Lup? Is that
Lup. The way even Lipton tea doesn't do anything for me. But listen to how this town.
It's like you're saying it for the first time, like you're Fort Lupton.
Oh, Fort Lupton. Virgin. It's not like You Bet Your Life where you have to say the word in context. I got to talk about it later.
Okay. I thought you had to.
Yeah, duck doesn't. Well, actually, we can have the chicken come down when I say the magic word, which is virgin. And let's face it. I think
chicken's been a virgin for a long time.
Not to mention a virgin wouldn't be holding a cock in his hand. So anyway, I'm there today. I'm all the way there and over the line.
You're
absolutely.
All the way up. You came in hot and you're all the way up.
All the way up. All the way up. All the way tater up. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just like.
It's his new hair. I think it's because you're wearing a spiffy shirt. You look young. It's like a young man shirt.
Why, thank you.
It's very in style. The moda.
I'm freaky styling, baby.
It's the moda. It's just current.
And of course, it's hearing something about Fort Lupton, which
That's
is just
your favorite. Yeah.
Say it with me, Lupton.
Why not Fort Morgan? Fort Morgan.
No, now remember.
What about Alt? None.
None is that none.
Severance.
Timnath.
Timnath.
I do love Timnath. If we ever get a Timnath alert, I will have a thing.
That's true.
But remember, by the way, one of the segments that we do on this program now is called Colorado Limericks of the Damned, where every week I do a limerick about some place like Timnath or Severance or Alt or Dacono or Fort Lupton, and they're horrible and they're evil, and that's why I do them, because I wrote them, and that's how I roll. But we have our Fort Lupton alert. Thank you. Oh, yay, my hat. So, are you ready for more Greeley Crimes and Old Times, my dear?
Yes,
all righty, here we go.
I'm ready.
We have been warned of the new kissing plant
Whoa.
Being introduced into homes in Greeley and Weld County. No, he's doing a little more than kissing, dear. That's okay. We have been told the plant causes people to start kissing when they come near it.
What?
This is from 100 years ago. This is kind of crap they used to put in newspapers. You simply must kiss everyone around you.
Oh, maybe a mistletoe.
Yeah, it's like regardless of age, sex, or looks. I think that's why they started calling it the Richard Dawson plant. But no, this dangerous plant is not the kind of thing to have in a respectable house. Yeah. And later on, they ended up actually getting the fuck flower. Yeah.
Maybe that would be a time you could use your word of the day.
Right? Oh, it could.
You should avoid that plant.
I know, because if you're a virgin.
Avoid that plant.
Yeah, or Venus flytraps.
I think of that.
What?
Not My Sweet Laundrette. What's the movie with the Venus flytrap? The play.
Oh.
Little Shop of Horrors.
Little Shop of Horrors. That's right.
That kind of freaks me out.
Actually, I wish Rabbi Saul would do Little Shop of Horrors. That would be great. That'd be just a thought for Rabbi Saul. Yeah. Anyway, Dave Lefkowitz here doing the Dave's Gone By TV program of the Facebook stream. Don't even know what to call the thing anymore. My wife Joyce is here helping me out with Greeley Crimes and Old Times for this Saturday, May 26, 2018. Police, here we go.
Yeah.
Police were called, and this happened, by the way, this is recent. This was May 15th.
Yeah.
Police were called to the University of Northern Colorado, yay, to talk to a student who had a complaint about one of her teachers.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. The student said the teacher yells at her classmates for asking simple questions and expects them to write essays in one day. The student told police she refused to do her teacher's, quote, stupid assignment, and that the teacher, quote, needs to be put in her place.
Wow.
Is that, really? Really? Yeah.
It's a waste of police time.
This is right, the right-wing blast the coddling kids.
This is what we have in here in most universities. But I was talking to actually one of the people in our office. We have it is like a text. You can actually go in. It's a text box, and you can report anything anonymously, I guess, or you can reveal your ID and identity, and it'll be followed up. So we have a lot of good internal reporting systems.
Yeah. So how the hell did this get to the police?
It shouldn't. What you need to do is, if you have a problem with your instructor, if there's a director of a department, you go there. If there's a chair, you go there, and then you go up to the dean, et cetera, et cetera.
Or maybe the police wanted to look at this stupid kid. Maybe they're worried that this kid doesn't like a professor and wants to forestall an AR-15 incident.
I don't think so.
But the thing that I don't understand about this is that, I'll say this again, this happened 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
No, that doesn't make sense. That's not right, because there's no classes going on.
Finals were already over. Whoops. Finals ended.
It's fake. That's fake, because I'll tell you, it's fake because there's nothing going on. There's no classes.
Right. How would this girl been taking an essay in one day from a professor after school's over?
But also final grades are in, summer session. I don't think summer session started then.
Right. So it's fake. Either or the date of reported is different.
Maybe that's why they called, because it's not based in reality.
Yeah, well, well, anyway.
Wow.
So as I said again, UNC has its own share of problems, but we're not USC this week.
There's a lot going on.
Do we have a gynecologist here?
No.
Well,
most universities don't have one.
Well, people go to the student health center.
Yeah, but the student health center is not part of the university. It's a separate entity.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It's on campus.
That don't matter.
So it's a private.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, so, do students get free health care, or do they have to pay, or what?
Everybody pays.
Everybody pays, yeah.
Everybody pays.
When everybody hurts, yeah. Stanton King of Boston, Massachusetts, has the only job of his kind.
What is that?
He teaches shanty singing to sailors.
Nice. Because the one thing sailors do not need to learn is shanty singing. Like, they might need to learn proper etiquette, which is the salad fork. They might need to learn like scurvy and bathing oneself, delicing oneself before going on a date, those kind of things. Or getting rid of crabs. I don't think sailors need to learn how to sing shanties.
Who
could have taught them?
Oh, Art Paul.
The one who talks about seafaring, crabbing on the island and stuff. That guy.
Who lives in a pineapple?
No. Remember we listened to him on the CD?
Oh, yes. He was a friend of the neighborhood.
Yes, and the whale begins to vomit. That one.
Yes. Gumball, you young fellers who's bound after sperm.
Maybe we could,
Oh, man, what's his name?
He would be a shanty
He would know.
singer.
He knows all the shanties, absolutely. Clancy Brothers used to sing shanties, too. Oh, I'm so sorry. What was his name? There's an M in there somewhere.
Guy.
Because he used to perform. He probably still does. And libraries on Long Island because he was an expert in old-time Long Island lore. Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry for forgetting temporarily your name. And by the way, if you want to find out someone like that who's been on this radio program, we do have our archives. All you got to do is go to davesgodmy.com and you can hear the interviews that we've done for the past 15 and a half years with people like,
Carol Channing.
I'm thinking the word Monroe, but I know it's not. Anyway, like him and Carol Channing.
Well, I'll look it up.
And Charles Grodin. And who else?
Isn't it Clemens or something like that?
Well,
I'm going to look it up. You.
Yeah.
Paul?
No.
Shanty singer.
Long Island. And make sure you put Long Island. Yeah. Well, other people. Dr. Demento has been on this radio show. And Dick Cabot. And Charlotte Ray. And Hal Linden. I mean, just the list goes on, and all you got to do is go to
Not David. No.
Just do My Long Island Home album.
Yes. My Long Island Home album.
We're checking.
Oh, Stan Ransom.
Stan Ransom! Yay! Shanty singer Stan Ransom.
Would you like to hear Acres of Clams?
Yeah, I wonder if I might have Stan Ransom on here.
Right here.
Let's hear how it sounds on yours. Hold on. This is exciting, folks. Yes, I got. I don't have Acres of Clams up. Yes, I do. You ready? Are you ready?
Okay, I'm going to shut mine.
That's not him.
I wandered all over this country, prospecting and digging for gold. I've tunneled, hydraulicked, and cradled, and I have been frequently sold. And I have been frequently sold. And I have been frequently sold. I've tunneled, hydraulicked, and cradled, and I have been frequently sold.
One more verse.
I rose to seek riches by mining, perceiving that hundreds grow cold. I made up my mind to go clamming, yes, the only pursuit that is sure. The only pursuit that is sure. The only pursuit that is sure. I made up my mind to go clamming, yes, the only pursuit that is sure. So rolling my grub in my blanket, I left all my tools by the way, and started that morning to shank it for a place they call Gardener's Bay. A place they call Gardener's Bay. A place they call Gardener's Bay. I started that morning to shank it for a place they call Gardener's Bay.
A bit of Stan Ransom there, our friend of the neighborhood from a few years back, doing a song called Acres of Clams. That is actually not really, I think, it's about sailors and seamen, but it's, I don't know if it's a shanty. A shanty would be like, haul away, heave away, haul, and songs that the Clancys did. Well, you know what a sea shanty, I don't have to tell you, but some guy had to tell sailors or teach them how to do sea shanties. And this is Stanton King of Boston, Massachusetts. This type of chanting helps sailors work and maintain the ships in unison while at sea. So there is an art, like everything else. Anybody can sing in the shower, but you also have to be taught to sing. I just love this idea of a guy having a shanty class with these merchant marine sea guys with tattoos who would just as soon Shanghai you as shake your hand. But anyway, I shake your hand visually and digitally as we do the Dave's Gone By program of the stream. It is 10 o'clock in the morning, Mountain Time. here in my office in Greeley, Colorado. Dave Lefkowitz here. This is our 652nd episode. We are calling it Quest Love in honor of our upcoming guest on the program, Jim Kweskin, talking to Rabbi Saul Solomon about folk music, jug band music. Also, we'll have Inside Broadway with a lot of Broadway news. We will have, what else we have? We're going to have a Colorado Limerick of the Damned. We're going to have a Wretched Pun of Destiny. We'll have a Saturday segue of songs in the news coming at you.
More Greeley Crimes and Old Times.
And more Greeley Crimes and Old Times right now. So, we'll do a couple more. Are you ready, babe?
Let's see, yeah.
Police responded to a resident on 7th Street who wanted to know how to keep his neighbor's cat from using his yard as a litter box. Because I would call the cops.
It's called Fresh Step.
Yeah, right.
You just get a litter box and you fill it with Fresh Step, and then the cat will go there.
Well, but the neighbor shouldn't have to do that. The guy who owns the cat or the woman who owns the cat should have to do that. You don't think?
Why can't the cat do it? Cat's
That's
the one
true.
making the beepers.
Yeah, that's true. Why can't cats go to the supermarket and grab their own litter?
Or why can't they shovel their own poops and pee?
Which cats do, don't they? They cover.
But the problem is, I'll tell you, like when dogs do make pee-pee or doo-doo on grass, it kills
It kills grass.
Yeah.
I know, that's why he's angry. It's not just, it's unsightly while he's doing it.
Yeah.
It's urea. It's
I don't
acid.
know what cats do in it, though. There are probably a lot of cats in the neighborhood.
Yeah, well, I mean, if a cat is like this for a minute, he's not chasing a squirrel. He's micturating.
Maybe he's voguing.
Oh, that could be, yeah. Meow, meow, meow.
Continue.
I am a material cat, like a virgin, touched for the very first time. See how everything ties together in a Dave's Gone By episode?
Everything comes together because everything's all one piece.
Your arms growing, your knees growing, your muscles growing, your penis grows, your penis.
Okay, stop.
Yeah, my father used to sing that to me, and it just got very weird.
Yes,
No,
no.
Just kidding. Okay.
TMI, honey, TMI.
Oh, here's an advert. We were talking about real estate before we got here.
Yes.
Here's an advertisement.
Oh, okay.
6-room house for sale.
Ooh.
Located on a hill next to the college. The hall, living room, and dining room are all completed in oak.
Lovely.
Right? Talking about my penis growing, I hear about
Keep
house
going.
porn. 3 bedrooms,
Nice.
1 bathroom, huge living room fireplace, separate garage. Total cost of the house,
I don't know.
1918. Take a wild.
$50,000.
1918. Take a wild
I
guess.
don't know.
I told you about it. 3 bedrooms, oak, right?
Beautiful. 100,000.
$3,500.
Wow.
For not a month,
That's lovely.
not a year.
Beautiful.
Always.
Oh,
No HOA. Taxes were probably $8 a year.
wow.
Can you imagine that? And I wonder, it doesn't give the address of the house. I would love to know if it's still
if it-
there.
what it would
And
be.
whether it's worth $350,000
That's
now.
awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, in the window of MacArthur Hardware, MacArthur Hardware's dying in the rain. A capon rooster. Oh, this is kind of, it's not a chicken alert, but it's sort of a roostery
It's a
alert.
fancy good.
Okay,
She likes it, yeah.
she does.
But you're blind in the
A capon rooster has been caring for 23 baby chicks. I know.
It's like marmot baby season.
This
That's
is-
we got to see that.
This is an awe. Well,
Oh.
if we were alive 100 years ago, we could have seen it. Here we
Can't
go.
Time traveling.
Here we go. I'll start this one over again.
Yes.
In the window of MacArthur Hardware,
Yes.
a capon rooster
Yes.
has been caring for 23 baby chicks
That's adorable.
until he was castrated.
What happened?
What happened? At that point, the rooster started ignoring the chicks. But since he was caponized, no, vice versa. I don't get it. Oh, I see. Oh, I've read this wrong a second time.
I don't understand it.
Here's the deal. This rooster, they kind of got the timeline all fudged up on this. They had a rooster
Yeah.
surrounded by chicks.
Yeah.
He didn't care about them one bit.
Oh, until they
Then they cut his nuts off.
Yeah.
And now he's this caring, loving, I wouldn't call him a dad now because he's missing the goods, but
Castrati,
capon.
castrati.
Yeah, he's a, so,
Castrati.
yeah.
That's nice. I don't have any
I'm a castato. See, nothing under. Yeah. So isn't that sort of a horrible, nice story?
Yeah.
I guess maybe this is what you do to fathers who abandon like young children and their women in urban areas. It's like you cut their nuts off, and then they come back and they're like, "Ooh, let me help."
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Anyway, what else? Police responded or were called to 14th Avenue to scare a woman's husband into cleaning up the house.
If that's available, I gotta go make a call.
Yeah.
Hello? Yeah.
The caller said her hubby refuses to do the dishes, and there was cat urine all over the house.
What? Maybe it's the neighbor, those people.
Yeah, that's what I say. Yeah, they should switch with that neighbor with a cat in the yard.
Yes.
And just trade houses.
That's good.
Trade spaces with cats.
Are you allowed to call the police for that?
Well, the police declined to get involved.
Good. Okay.
Like,
Good
yeah,
to know.
that's a win for the men right there. Let's see. Unless she managed to caponize the husband, in which case he'll do all the dishes she wants. A Ford Flivver, a plane, which is an airplane, that Henry Ford called the Model T of the air,
Ooh.
crashed into a...
You sure it's not the Edsel? The Edsel of the air.
The Edsel was a good car. It just got no promotional traction. It's kind of like this show. If you ever saw that movie. Oh, no, that was a Tucker. The Tucker.
I don't know.
The same kind of thing. Anyway, the Model T of the air crashed into a slow-moving Cadillac east of Greeley before dawn this morning.
Oh, no.
200 bottles of booze in the caddy were destroyed.
Oh, God.
And the Cadillac was being driven without headlights.
Of course, because it had 200 bottles of booze in it.
Meanwhile, police were called, but the caddy's driver went on to Denver without waiting to be arrested.
I wonder why.
Meanwhile, what happened to the guy in the plane?
They
It's a
don't
friggin'
care
plane
because
crash.
He ran into a moonshiner.
Yeah. I've been a moonshiner for many a year. I've spent all my money on wine and beer. And now there's an airplane way up in the sky. I better drive before I die. I don't know.
Lovely.
It's
That
charming.
Was beautiful.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. Okay.
That was good in rhyme. That's good.
Oh, thank you. Oh, we're doing Really Crimes at All Times, by the way, and we have...
There's a lot of them, David.
We have an elsewhere.
Okay. Is this the last one or you want more?
So where's my elsewhere? I've lost it.
Well,
we can do a couple more, but I want to make sure we get the elsewhere in.
Okay.
Because it just happened this week.
Oh, it's time for...
Dateline, Morro Bay, California.
Ooh.
We were swimming along in Morro Bay. We could see the little cephalopods having fun all day. Okay,
Keep
so
dropping everything in.
you ready for this?
Yes.
A 70-pound octopus
Oh.
named Fred.
Uh-oh, Fred, are you listening?
Fred.
It's your namesake.
Not only has 8 arms, but possibly 9 lives. This is a happy story.
Is that the one that predicts who wins?
No, that
the
was he's
Super
gone.
Bowl or
Remember the Olympic octopus?
Yeah, he picks all the
I
teams,
loved him. There was this thing back in the Olympics, not the most recent ones, but
we learned how to do boy and girl from the...
Well, hold on. So first of all, back in the Olympics 4 or 8 years ago.
Wasn't it World Cup?
World Cup, you're right.
Yes.
World Cup. What was his name, though?
Francis.
Was it? It was something the octopus. And they would put cubes in 2 different sides of the tank on which team was going to win the World Cup of soccer. And then the octopus would come down and sort of put his tentacles around one of the teams, and he had like a 90% success rate in pre-predicting which team would win the World Cup. It's the most beautiful thing I ever heard. What was his name?
Paul?
Paul! Was it Paul?
Yeah, Paul the octopus.
Paul the octopus.
He has died, but he predicted results of NFL. April the giraffe does NFL.
April the giraffe now does NFL. I love
Mhm.
it. I love it. So this is a story from this week.
Paul the octopus predicts World Cup outcomes.
Yeah.
I'll get a picture of him.
Oh, he was so cute. In octopus terms. I guess I'm a sucker for a good octopus because they have suckers. And what Joyce was mentioning, we learned this week, we were watching Tanked, that show about the guys who make fish tanks. And it turns out, do you know how to tell a male octopus from a female octopus without taking them out on a date or doing something naughty to them? Here's Paul. This is Paul, the World Cup octopus. Let's get him up real close. Beautiful, huh?
Yeah.
Well, actually, let's see. Can you find the one tentacle that proves that Paul was a boy octopus rather than a girl.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up.
Because this was the deal. Who knew this? Octopi all have 10. They'd be a decapus, wouldn't they? An octopus
Boy and
has
girl octopus.
8 tentacles. On a girl octopus, all of the tentacles have those little suckers coming up and down the backs of their tentacular arms. A male octopus, on one of his arms, the tentacles are missing. So he has 7 with tentacles and one just plain, not sucker, the suckers, what are those called? Suckers, I guess. So that's the difference. And the male octopus has 7 tentacles with suckers. Female octopi have
Okay, let
all.
me tell you.
Yeah, tell me.
David, what did the boy octopus say to the girl octopus?
I'm a sucker for you? No, what?
I want to hold your hand.
I love that. That's great. I love that. Oh. Here, what's the thing is? Hey, would you like a 9th octopus arm? No, thanks. I already ate.
Here you can see.
This little
This
octopus
is someone
strip.
assessing the gender of an octopus.
There. Oh, this is not going to show. Oh, there we got it. I'm showing this on the Facebook feed. It's a boy looking under literally the arm of a girl. Oh, this is so cute.
But that's what how they do it.
Yeah, that's how you can tell. That's how you can sex an octopus, as it were.
Here's one of a man being eaten by a.
Oh, that's by. Wait, what does that have to do with anything? What is that? Monkey. These are very strange. Anyway, this octopus that we're talking about this week in California, named Fred, last week, a fish market in Morro Bay, California, saved Fred from being served up as someone's supper.
That's awesome.
Giovanni Di Garimore, owner of Giovanni's Fish Market, makes his living selling seafood.
Oh.
But he recently decided against selling octopus products after learning how intelligent the animals are. He said he met a friendly octopus while diving in Fiji. Essentially, this guy says, we played a game of hide and seek for 15 minutes. So on May 14th, De Garimore's dock manager told him that a local crab fisherman was selling a 70-pound octopus.
Uh-oh.
Well, this put De Garimore in an awkward position, as awkward as playing hide the tentacle, I don't know, but he said he no longer wanted to financially reward people who capture octopi, but he also didn't want to cut up such a beautiful animal. So, what did he do?
He married it.
Close. He purchased the octopus for several $100s. The octopus was named Fred.
Every octopus is named Fred.
I know. Well, it's the same octopus. And he spent a few days at the fish market before being released into a safe place.
Oh, I like that.
And is this adorable? Is this lovely? And an octopus expert told Scientific American that octopuses engage in play and that they have distinct personalities.
Really?
Isn't that lovely?
That's nice.
That's right. The octopus really was playing hide and seek with this guy.
Oh.
How do you keep your arms behind the tree, though?
I don't know. It's too like.
And they can count. They only count to 80 because it's easier. The octopus does everything about base 8. So
That's their
there's 1,
system.
2, 3, 4. Yeah.
Let's finish up with the strong one.
Well, no.
There's
No,
more?
you'll appreciate this. Meanwhile,
Oh no.
this same week,
Yeah.
a study in a peer-reviewed journal
Yeah.
pointed out, or posited, that octopuses are possibly, actually, aliens from space.
Oh, everybody always goes that route. Why?
This is a journal, The Progress in Biophysics and Molecular Biology. That's the journal there.
Yeah.
Says that we've always believed that octopi, squid, and my beloved cuttlefish.
Are from
That's like
outer
Fort
space?
Lupton to me, cuttlefish.
Are from wow. That
Well,
seems
everybody
sketchy.
thinks they evolved from the ancient Nautilus creature. But octopi are so sophisticated, weird, and different, and they appeared so suddenly in our ecosystem that, quote, it's plausible that octopi seem to be borrowed from a far distant future in terms of terrestrial evolution. Woo! They could have even come from bacteria or debris from falling comets. Imagine it coming from another sphere.
I don't buy that.
A lot of scientists are not buying it either, but if you are defending this obviously controversial article...
Is that Scully and Mulder?
Well, you know what it's called? This is called, speaking of virgins,
What?
panspermia. This is a word, panspermia.
You know, these scientists, when they get a little bit of fun.
Well, think of the word. It means seeds coming from everywhere.
Everywhere, of
Right.
course.
So life on Earth could have not only come from this galaxy, but from any other galaxy out there. Also panspermia is what George Takei makes for Sunday breakfast. Don't even know what that means. Anyway.
One more good one, baby. Pick a good one.
And by the way, I'm very happy to announce this. If Fred or Wendy or you're listening about George, I mispronounced his name. George Takei, Sulu from Star Trek. Remember a year ago during the whole Me Too, well, we still have the whole Me Too movement, but remember when somebody accused him back in the early 1980s?
Oh, yes, I remember you covered that,
of sexual harassment, molestation.
Yes.
The guy this week recanted.
Wow.
Said it never happened. He was at a party. George Takei made a move on him. The guy said no. Takei backed off.
Whoa.
Takei never spiked his drink, never did anything.
Whoa. That's
Hey, George Takei. Right on.
Exoneration. Pick one more thing and I'll
Okay. Let's see.
Something good to end on.
Last Greeley Crime and Old Time for this Saturday, May 26th, here in the neighborhood. Let's have a good new one. Okay. Police were called to this is nice. This is a happy ending here. Police were called to an apartment complex on 8th Avenue. Not 8th and 8th necessarily, but 8th Avenue.
8th is near getting near the Nexus, yeah.
For a report of a man and a woman who are arguing on the street.
Okay.
But they are now sleeping together on the sidewalk.
Oh, that's nice. Potato, what do you think, Carrie Potato?
That's a very sweet story.
Look, here's a friend.
Oh, look. He's going to reenact it.
No, a chicken, because chicken has the hair like him.
Okay, yeah. Let's have them arguing. We'll do a reenactment here for Facebook.
Oh, he flipped his wig, honey.
He takes his wig off before he goes to sleep at night.
That's literally the expression. Yeah. Oh, and look what happened 9 months later.
Oh, and then born from that sidewalk encounter. Oh, yeah. Look at this. They have little egglet baby potatoes. Isn't that sweet?
That's lovely.
Oh, what a wonderful way to end
my heart, yes.
Greeley Crimes and Old Times today.
Let it go, baby.
Okay, so da. All right, thank you, honey. That is my darling and adorable wife, Joyce, who joins me. Oh, you okay?
I threw my phone.
Oh, there we go. So I'll be in touch later. I'll probably be here till a bit after noon.
I'm going to work on our article.
Yeah, you do that. Oh, God.
Give me a
I am going to tell you about the
kissy.
piece we're writing together. Give me a moment, folks. I'm going to do some sex with my wife.
So just hug me.
Okay.
I'm not
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, touch me there. Ooh, touch me there. Thank you, sweetie. Mwah. Mwah. Now let's go sleep on the sidewalk.
Okay. Sounds good to me. Sounds like a plan. Do you want me to leave this like this or shut it?
Let's find a way. It gets a little air in here. It's kind of nice. Love you.
Want me to put this a little
Perfect. Grazie tanto. I will. Here on the Dave's Gone By radio TV program of the stream, live on Facebook at Radio Dave Lefkowitz is our Facebook page. If you have Facebook friends and you know that they check their Facebooks like every half hour because everybody's addicted to it, tell them, hey, we're here, we're live, and we've got Jim Kweskin talking to Rabbi Saul Solomon soon. We have a Limerick, a Colorado Limerick of the Damned. We've got a Wretched Pun of Destiny coming. We've got Saturday Segue of songs and the news. What else do we got? We've got Storytime with A Cow for Hansel. That wonderful book that we're almost halfway through at this point. And then even Dave's Big Dictionary, where I'll be talking about the word virgin. What will Dave say about that? I don't know. But before all that, oh my gosh, we are only 2 weeks now, I think, away from the Broadway Tony Awards. And we'll even be, well, I'll tell you about our special program, but that means it's time for us to go inside Broadway. Yeah. Inside Broadway, a look at theater on and off Broadway and beyond. Brought to you by Total Theater and Performing Arts Insider. Curtain going up. Yes, indeed. Inside Broadway we go. For news of the Rialto here on this Saturday morning. So here's the deal. It's the end of the 2017-2018 official Broadway season. All the shows have opened. The Tony voters are quickly doing their ballots now, or catching up with shows they missed, or seeing shows again. And then on June 10th, Sunday night, CBS will broadcast live for 3 hours from Radio City Music Hall. I think it's from Radio City. I didn't check that, but it has been a lot over the past few years. The annual Tony Awards. So, not only will I be watching that on Sunday night, along with all my theater friends and fans, but we do an annual Total Theater Tony show, and have been for the past, 13 years. This will be our 14th annual Tony show, and it will be happening Saturday morning, June 9th, our usual hours, from 9 until noon Mountain Time here from Colorado. If you're watching in New York, it's from 11 until 2. It's going to, it's even longer. We're adding an extra hour. So it's going to run from 9 until 1 Mountain, from 11 until 12, 1 to 3. 3 in the afternoon, full of interviews with theater experts. We're trying to line up a Tony nominee. Not sure that's going to happen, but we've got a lot of our usual great crew of theater critics, and each one is taking a category of the Tony Awards, and they're going to handicap it like a horse race and talk about each of the shows and each of the performers. It's fabulous. We've been doing it for years. We'll play show tunes. We have trivia. We have a couple of giveaways to do, and something that I love that I've been doing the past couple of years, a Broadway timeline, where we very quickly go through every single new show that opened on Broadway the past season. Tell you a little bit about it. If it's a musical, we play a song from it. It's fabulous, and it all happens in 3.5 to 4 hours on June 9th, Saturday morning, right here on Facebook. So you don't miss it. It's a classic, great Dave's Gone By special that we do every year. But here's let's get to some more basic Broadway news and information for this past week. For example, news came this week that the Broadway debut, the new Broadway musical Pretty Woman, based, of course, on the very popular film with Julia Roberts and everybody who wasn't Julia Roberts in there, Richard Gere, of course, Gary Marshall film, big, huge, iconic hit, and now they're turning it into a musical. So they did it out of town with a certain cast, and they kept most of those cast members. But this week, the producers announced that one cast member is not going to come to Broadway with the show, Steve Kazee. Now, he had this Cinderella story a couple of years ago when he did the musical once, also based on a movie. But it was a lovely, lovely show based on that movie, not quite musical, sort of musical, about this guy who works in a vacuum cleaner shop with his dad, and he meets this foreign girl, and they make music together. It's almost a romance, but not quite. It's a lovely, lovely film. Anyway, they turned that into a musical, and it was a lovely, lovely Broadway musical. Steve Kazee was in it. I think he won the Tony Award. So they cast him as in the Richard Gere role of Pretty Woman for this musical. And the show opened out of town, and the girl, she got amazing reviews. Her name is Samantha Barks. I believe she's English. And she's coming to Broadway with the show. His reviews, not so much. So what happens? They make these calculated decisions, producers do. And for family reasons, quote unquote, Steve Kazee will not be coming to Broadway in Pretty Woman. Instead, they have cast the role, and I've got to say, I can't blame them for this, Andy Karl. Now, if you're a Broadway person, you know Andy Karl just was a knockout in Rocky, even though the show wasn't a hit. And he was terrific And I voted for him for awards when he was in Groundhog Day 2 seasons ago. He's a fabulous actor. He's got everything. He's really good looking. He sings, he dances well enough, although he hurt himself in Groundhog Day and probably doesn't dance as well as he used to. But Andy Karl will be playing opposite Samantha Barks on Broadway in Pretty Woman, and the show is opening in the middle of August at the Nederlander Theater. Okay, I want to let you know that last Monday, May 21st, the Obie Awards were given out in a ceremony at a place called Terminal 5 on West. What a horrible name for a place to hold a ceremony. Terminal 5. Sounds like the fifth floor of a cancer ward. But the American Theater Wing and the Village Voice presented the 63rd Annual Obie Awards last Monday. Among the presenters were Matthew Broderick, Laura Benanti, Lucy Liu, Laura Osnes, playwright David Henry Wang, William Ivy Long, and UNC's own Beth Malone. She's in Angels in America. In fact, she's taking over the angel role full-time in a week or two on Broadway, so congratulations to her. The host of the Obies was John Leguizamo. Kathleen Chalfant was given the Lifetime Achievement Award. And of the big prizes, Rajiv Joseph's Describe the Night won for New American Play, and the Ross Whetstone Award. Ross Whetstone was the founder, I guess, of the Obie Awards, and he was a writer for the Village Voice. The Ma Yi Theater Company, they won the Whetstone Award. So congratulations to all the Obie winners for off and off Broadway. Hey, speaking of awards, going to let you know that the 68th Annual Outer Critics Circle Awards, they happen this Thursday at Sardi's. That's the place on 44th Street, the ultimate theater-related restaurant. The nice thing also about the Outer Critics is that they mix on and off-Broadway theater together in their awards, unlike the Tonys, which concentrates generally only on Broadway, unless it's a really special award to the Fantastics, or La Mama is winning the Regional Theater Award this year. But anyway, the Outer Critics Circle already announced its winners on May 7th. Now they're just having the ceremony this week. The most wins went to Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. That took 6 awards. My Fair Lady took 5. SpongeBob SquarePants took 4. And the winner of Best Broadway Play was Harry Potter. Off-Broadway Play went to Admissions. And Best Musical went to SpongeBob SquarePants. As we explained last week, The Band's Visit wasn't even in contention because that was playing off-Broadway last year. So it was voted on then, and they can't re-vote just because it moved to Broadway. By the way, speaking of Broadway and off-Broadway, we do this segment, Inside Broadway, thanks to our friends at Total Theater. This is a company that does 2 amazing things for theater fans. One of them is put out a free website called TotalTheater.com. And this is a place where you can go and read thousands of theater reviews, Broadway, off-Broadway, regional theater, international theater, festivals, and it's all free. Sounds daunting, almost overwhelming. So what you do is you go to the homepage of TotalTheater.com and you click on What's New. There's a button there that says What's New. If you click on that, that will bring you to hyperlinks of all the shows that are still running on and off Broadway and around the country, around the world. So you can very quickly see, aha, I may want to see this show. Let me see what the critic thought of it, and click on that, and click on that. Plus, there's a section called Periodica, where it's stories and interviews and feature pieces about theater being made all over the world. TotalTheater.com. You definitely want to check that out. Now, you know, when I talk like this, and I look exactly like Jim Cramer. I'm not that's somebody I really want to look like, but I look like Jim Cramer, that crazy financial guy. I'm like, I mean, you see it, don't you? Yeah. It's like, buy low, sell high, something. Anyway, also telling you about Total Theater's publication, Performing Arts Insider, the Bible of Broadway since 1944. This is the place where people who need to be in the know about every aspect of Broadway, off and off-Broadway, every production playing on a stage in New York is in Performing Arts Insider Theater Journal. It's got chronological calendar listings of when shows start previews or open or close. More importantly, it's also got really comprehensive listings of every production, listing everybody involved and the contact information, what press agent handles the show, what manager or agent handles the actors, the designers, the director. All of that is in every listing on every page of Performing Arts Insider. It's an expensive publication, but the folks who subscribe renew year after year because they know they can't get this anywhere else in the same way. You could open 1,000 little windows on your computer. It's not as easy as getting a hard copy magazine in your hand. You open it up, you read it on the train, you read it on the airplane, you have it handy, you flip to the index or the table of contents, and so much faster, so much easier, and so much more complete and accurate than any other place. Performing Arts Insider. For more information, please visit performingartsinsider.com. Plus, if you just want a single copy, the website will tell you how to send away for it, or if you're in Midtown Manhattan, you can buy one at the Drama Book Shop and also Theater Circle in Midtown in the West 40s. Either way, Performing Arts Insider, it is the Bible of Broadway. Well, we return to Broadway with just a couple more items to let you know about. For example, want to let you know that to celebrate the end of the Broadway season, the Broadway League is hosting its annual free Stars in the Alley concert. This is happening this Friday, June 1st at 1 o'clock in the afternoon in Schubert Alley, which is right near Sardi's. It's 8th Avenue and 44th Street. Again, you can just show up and they'll have seats and barricades and blocks, and it's performers. It's all the shows on Broadway and stars and not and soon to be stars performing and speaking and having fun for about an hour. Right in Midtown Manhattan. It's a celebration, really, to bring attention to Broadway and the Tony Awards that are coming up. Alex Newell, who is appearing in Once on This Island, will be hosting the show. For more information, go to broadway.org, broadway.org. Performances include the stars of shows like Mean Girls and Carousel and Harry Potter and SpongeBob and Summer, and even some of the plays will be represented. It's Stars in the Alley. It's one of those great things that you can get only really in New York, happening this Friday, 1 o'clock, right in Midtown in Schubert Alley. And I want to let you know, I forgot to write this down, but I do believe, I'm pretty sure, that this week, The Boys in the Band is opening on Broadway. I can probably look it up really, really quickly on this computer. If you just give me a moment. One more sec. When is that opening? Because it's going to be soon. If it's not this week, it's next week. It will happen. Sorry about this. Yeah, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. So May 31st. So this week, The Boys in the Band. Now, it's a revival of this off-Broadway show, groundbreaking, quite important, certainly to a certain segment of the population. 50 years ago, in 1968, Mark Crowley wrote a play about gay people, gay men. And it was this idea of bringing them out of the closet, bringing them to a theater in a very present way, even though it was a small theater, and having them talk about their lives, having them celebrate and be openly who they were, even though I always found the second act kind of devolved into a lot of backbiting and fighting and bitching and self-pity, which was not really the message that the show wanted to send. But at the same time, the show wanted to send that, hey, we're regular people like everybody else. So we get along, we have romances, we also fight, we also do other things. So 50 years later, they have brought The Boys in the Band back. And it's on Broadway with Jim Parsons, of course, from The Big Bang Theory. And it's opening this week at what theater? At the Booth Theater on West 45th Street. And it is a limited run. It's running only through the middle of August. And what's kind of cool is that next week on Dave's Gone By, our June 2nd program, next Saturday, our guest will be someone who was in the original Boys in the Band. It'll be the actor Lawrence Luckinbill. Now, you know, maybe the name doesn't ring that much of a bell, but he was on in the movie Star Trek V, and he's done a ton of television stuff. And he's known, I guess, also for being married to Lucy Arnaz. I Love Lucy's kid. So anyway, but he's a veteran actor, and he's done one-man shows about Lyndon Johnson and about Clarence Darrow, other folks like that. So it's going to be really cool to ask Lawrence Luckinbill about all of his career, including being in The Boys in the Band 50 years ago, what that meant to his career, what it was like for his life, what agents warned him about when he said he was going to do the role and wanted to take it. And they said, oh, that's career suicide, because a straight actor appearing in a gay play back then, you were afraid to do it. But, so that's apropos of saying definitely listen to this program next week for Lawrence Luckinbill in the neighborhood. So there. What else to tell you about Inside Broadway today on this May 26, 2018? Oh, sad news. Hate doing this, but it is sad news. A week ago, we lost Patricia Morrison at the truly ripe old age of 103. She died of natural causes. She was the very first Lily Benessi in the 1948 debut of the classic Cole Porter musical, Kiss Me, Kate. So, yep, she was the original Kate and has been around all this time. Unfortunately, we lost her a few days ago. Now, Patricia Morrison's first Broadway show was a 1933 flop called Growing Pains. As a matter of fact, she didn't even get to Broadway in it. She was fired during rehearsals. She was so bad. She admits this. But then she did some movie roles. She was in the movie Kiss of Death with Richard Widmark, I believe. And then she was in a Sherlock Holmes movie with Basil Rathbone. Is that the coolest? She also toured at one point with Al Jolson. And then she did more than 1,500 performances of Kiss Me, Kate, both on Broadway and in London. And she was also on Broadway taking over for Gertrude Lawrence in The King and I. So yes, kind of a Broadway legend has left us over the past few days. And what better way then to say a farewell to Patricia Morrison than by playing a song from Kiss Me, Kate.
Strange, dear, but true, dear, when I'm close to you, dear, the stars fill the sky, so in love with you am I.
Okay, I got to apologize for that. That was the first mistake of the day on my part. That certainly was a song from Kiss Me, Kate, a great song called So in Love, but that was from the 1968 TV cast of the show. You could tell even just by the arrangements there, that was not Patricia Morrison. This is, or it should be.
Strange, dear, but true, dear, when I'm close to you, dear, the stars fill the sky, so in love with you am I.
And now, as promised, a little jug band music.
Hi, this is Jim Kweskin. I'm going to be performing at Joe's Pub this coming Wednesday, May 30th, with a wonderful singer, Samara Wilson. It's in Manhattan at 425 Lafayette, Greeley. And I'm on the radio now with Rabbi Saul Solomon on Days Gone By.
Way down south, Memphis, Tennessee, jug band music sounds so sweet to me, 'cause it sounds so sweet. Oh, it's hard to beat. Jug band music certainly was a treat to me.
Oh, shalom, my friends, shalom. This is your old pal, Rabbi Saul Solomon, and I've got music in my ears because we're going to be talking to a folk musician who goes back to the early 60s when all that great music was happening in America. He's Jim Kweskin. Now, if that name might not ring a bell, I will stand sometimes on a street corner and I'll look at the occasional girl and I'll go, oh, nice jugs. But nobody had nicer jugs than Jim Kweskin because he founded a jug band that played that old-timey folky music. And you know what? You can go hear him this Wednesday, May 30th at Joe's Pub. It's part of the Public Theater in New York over on 425 Lafayette Street, playing that great folk music that he does. But right now, we have Jim Kweskin on the phone with us and welcome him with us. Shalom. Shalom, Jim.
Shalom to you.
First of all, how you feeling? How you doing?
I'm okay, thank you. How are you?
I've got the usual aches and pains. I'm Jewish. This is a thing. You're not Jewish, are you?
I am.
Oh, you are? On all sides, mother and father?
Yes.
So where does your lineage come from? What's your heritage?
Eastern European Jews from Lithuania, Latvia.
Was it always Kweskin, or did they do something at Ellis Island, or did you did you shorten something?
No, I think it was always Kweskin, but I'm not 100% sure.
Now, one thing we do want to make sure that people aren't confused if they're looking for this man on the interwebs, it's Kweskin, Kweskin, not to be confused with Kweskin the Mentalist, who has also been on this radio program of The Stream. But Jim Kweskin, how did you first get into playing music?
Well, I was very attracted to old-time music because my father had some old records from the 20s and 30s, Bessie Smith and Lead Belly and some early jazz, Big Spiderbeck and early Louis Armstrong and Sidney Bechet and Jolie Morton. And I just fell in love with that music. And then as I got to my early teen years, I heard folk music, people like Pete Seeger and the Weavers and Burlaz, and I fell in love with that music. So when I had those two kinds of music kind of swirling around inside me all through my youth, I started to meet people who played the guitar and sing, and I wanted to do the same thing. So it was just kind of like all kind of came together little by little.
Were you part of that New York early 1960s scene around West 3rd Street? And
yeah, no, I was there. I had gigs at the Gaslight Cafe and on McDougal Street, and I was playing down there.
So these people that you talk about in terms of like Phil Oakes and the Peter, Paul and Mary and the Bob Dylan, did you actually physically see them and were you on bills with them, that sort of thing?
Yes.
Well, do you have any memories, any anecdotes?
Well, I'll give you an example. I was playing at the Gaslight Cafe, this would be about 1962, and there were 4 shows a night. Peter Stampfel playing the banjo and singing, he was the first set. He eventually became part of the Holy Modal Rounders.
Right.
The second set was me playing the guitar and singing. The third set was Bob Dylan. He was playing the guitar and singing. And the fourth set was the three of us together.
Wait. What song did you guys sing together when you were with Dylan and Peter Stampfel?
A lot of
Oh, makes sense. Seeing and being on the same bill as Bob Dylan back in that period, did you see him as special or just another one of you guys with a kind of a different voice?
Actually, both. I mean, he was definitely special. He was extremely entertaining on stage, and he was just amazing performer. But he was also just, he was one of us guys too. So he was both.
Did he change when he got Albert Grossman as a manager? Did he suddenly become more standoffish, and suddenly he wasn't like the same guy you hoist a beer with and sing for the encore with?
Well, he was never just one of the guys. He was never a hangout kind of, just one of the guys kind of guy. He was a little bit, but he also had his own private world that he lived in. The main thing about him is that when I knew him, he had a pad of paper and he was constantly writing. I mean, songs were spewing out of him like water out of a fountain. And it was like nonstop. We would sit at a cafe across the street to have something to eat from across the street from the Gaslight, getting ready to go on or do our show. He'd be sitting over there with a pad of paper on the table, just furiously writing away. So God knows he was probably writing blowing in the wind. I have no idea.
Or something. That one I think he wrote in a hotel, but some of the others for sure he was. But
yeah.
Once he had his second album out, did you and some of the other people you were with now start to feel forced or compelled to write your own songs as opposed to doing old folk standards and covering other people?
It did not. I'm not a songwriter, so I didn't have that problem. I didn't have to think about it. I interpreted old songs. Nowadays, when you do songs that were done by somebody else, it's called covering it. They have cover bands, you know that. And if you do any song that was earlier done by whoever, Joni Mitchell or James Taylor or whoever it is, and you do it, it's called covering it. But of course, I do folk songs and traditional songs that were recorded, in the 1920s or earlier. So I was on stage not too long ago, fairly recently, and I said to the audience, well, if I do a song that was recorded 90 years ago, am I covering it? And somebody in the audience said, no, you're uncovering it.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
I thought that was cool. So that's what I do. I uncover songs.
Well, it's kind of like when Neil Young and his band did a whole album of Americana. I think that was the actual title of it. And they did Oh Susanna. Is that really a cover version of Oh Susanna? It's a fair question.
Exactly.
Oh, the cuckoo, she's a fine bird, and she warbles as she flies, and she never hollers cuckoo till the 10th day of July. Oh, I played golf in England, and I played cards up in Spain, and I'll bet you $10 that I'll beat you very next game. Jack of diamond, Jack of diamond, well, I know you of old. Well, you robbed my poor pocket of my silver and my gold.
Hi, this is Jim Kweskin. I'm going to be performing at Joe's Pub this coming Wednesday, May 30th. And I'm on the radio now with Rabbi Saul Solomon on Days Gone By.
Let me even roll it back a little bit more. Were you influenced by the Weavers and any Seeger memories? Yeah, please.
Well, when I was about 13 years old, my parents sent me to a summer camp. This had been in the 50s. Pete Seeger came and gave a concert there, and of course that's not the only jobs he could get because he's blacklisted. So he couldn't play in any of the clubs or any of the concert halls or on radio or on television. So all he could get was, like concerts at summer camps and places that would be willing to hire him. He was considered a communist or a radical. But anyway, I was there 13 and I saw him, and of course I just loved what he did. He was just amazing. So yes, definitely influenced me. He also influenced me to learn how to get an audience to sing along. That was one of his great strengths. One of the things that Pete Seeger did better than anybody. I still think he did it better than anybody has done it since.
Well, what's the secret besides saying, hey, everybody sing along? How do you get an audience to join in?
Well, it's the energy, it's the way you say it, it's knowing what to ask them to do, and I don't know, it's just talent. Like any other talent, it's a talent.
Now, speaking of talent, are you completely self-taught guitar, or did you learn anything from Rick Von Schmidt or people like that, or how did you learn to play?
Well, first of all, I took lessons as a kid. My parents, when I was a little young teenager, about 12, 13, 14 years old, I took lessons from just a guy in my hometown who taught jazz guitar. But he mostly was just teaching me chords because I was a beginner. And that went on for a little while. And then later on, when I got to college, I wanted to learn. My favorite guitar player was Mississippi John Hurt. And I wanted to be able to finger pick like Mississippi John Hurt. And I had this teacher that I knew in Cambridge who was also a performer named Rolf Kahn. And he taught me how to finger pick.
You've been doing that ever since. But let me ask you, in terms of, it's one thing to be a folk group like the Weavers or the Chad Mitchell Trio, but you went in an even sort of more down-home, southern-ish tradition. What made you think, oh, let's do jug band style?
Well, like I say, if you think about what I was listening to and what kind of music I was loving as a young person, it was early jazz and folk music. And if you think about it, that's really all jug band music is. It's like early jazz played on folk music instruments. Instead of using trumpets and saxophones and trombones and clarinets, you're using kazoos and harmonicas and fiddles and washtubs and washboards and Coleman tissue paper and all that kind of stuff. But you're playing jazzy tunes but on folk music instruments, and that's just what a jug band is, and that's what I was attracted to. Even before I'd ever heard a jug band, I was already playing that kind of music.
Wow. So when people think of Jim Kweskin and his band, they of course think of you, but also the Moldauers. So how did they get into the mix?
Well, Jeff Moldauer and I, in the early 60s, I did a concert in Boston, and he was booked as, it was a co-bill. We had not even really met each other or barely knew each other, and somebody decided to put on a show. It was called The Good Time Music of Jim Kweskin and the Bittersweet Blues of Jeff Moldauer. So because we were going to do a concert together, we decided, well, maybe we could do a couple of songs together. He would do his set, I would do my set, but maybe we could do a few songs together. So I think he came over to my place, or I went over to his place. I don't remember. But anyway, we got together and we started working on a few songs, and it sounded pretty good. We liked playing together. And he was like 19, and I'm 22. We were really young. Several months later, I was playing at the Club 47 in Cambridge, and I always had more than one person. I was never just me on stage. It was a gang of people. It was always I had a whole bunch of friends who played music in the Cambridge, Boston area, and I always have a harmonica player, fiddle player, mandolin player, Fritz Richmond playing the washed-up bass. It was always a gang of us up there just jamming on stage. That was what I loved to do.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a band. It was just a jam session. Anyway, so one night I didn't know it, but in the audience was Maynard Solomon, who was the president of Vanguard Records.
Whoa.
And he came up to me after the set and said, I love what you're doing. How'd you like to make a record with that band? And I said, well, that's not a band, but give me 3 or 4 months to put a band together, and I'd love to make a record. So I had a record deal before I had a band.
Wow.
And so now I got to put a band together. And I knew I wanted to put a needed a guy who could sing blues because a lot of what jug band music is blues. So Jeff Mulder was such a great blues singer. He's the first person I asked to join the jug band.
And then Maria, was he with his wife at that point, or was that later on?
Maria came later. The first jug band was Jeff and Fritz Richmond and Bob Siggins on banjo, who was playing with Charles River Valley Boys in Boston at the time, and my old friend David Simon, who was a harmonica player. So that was the very first jug band. That's the band that made the very first jug band album. Then we were doing a gig in '64. We were down in Greenwich Village doing a gig at the bitter end. The Even Dozen Jug Band came in to see us, and they were from New York. Maria was in that band, and her date was John Sebastian that night.
Oh.
And so that happened. Jeff Mulder got up and sang with our band. He sang Wild About My Lovin', and she just fell in love with him.
She was wild about his loving instead of John Sebastian's, okay?
And she ended up leaving New York, leaving that band, moving to Boston, and joining our band.
Wow. And that happened for a while. Of course, she later became famous on her own for Midnight at the Oasis and other stuff.
Well, I can walk, shout, 44, pass songs and have a woman line. You know, I'm such an aunt who doesn't show so you can count from 1 to 9. Well, I'm simple, great, big deal, for love from a defense can. Throw it in a skillet, do my shopping and me back, Lord, melting pain, 'cause I'm a woman. Love you, oh, yeah. Let me tell you again. I'm a woman. Love you, oh, yeah. Well, I can rub and scroll till this house shines just like a dime. Need the baby, miss a calm down on my face at the same time. You know, I can get on the stuff, go out and 6 to 5 a.m. and then jump at 5, get up at 6 and start all over again. 'Cause I'm a woman. Love you, oh, yeah. Let me tell you again. I'm a woman. Love you, oh, yeah.
Can I ask, in holding a band together, first of all, when you're just in your early 20s, and also through the very turbulent 60s, I mean, how chaotic and mad was it for even a folk band like you guys?
Well, I don't know. It was chaotic only in the sense that we didn't know what the hell we were doing. Everything was an experiment. And we would, try something, didn't work. Somebody wanted to do something, somebody else didn't want to do it. We'd fight a lot or argue a lot about the key or the tempo or which song to do or who should play what or who should sing it. I mean, it was a lot of going back and forth. But it was, it was a process of boiling it down. So by the time we got done with it, it was the best we could do. And then very, very often it was really good. So in that sense, and the life we were living, I don't even know how we got by, but we didn't have much money. We didn't make much money, but somehow managed to scrape by and do gigs and get paid, not a lot, but enough. I had an apartment in Cambridge. My rent was $65 a month.
Nice.
We got by. It was a very lively, exciting, experimental time. To me, it was a wonderful, wonderful part of my life, wonderful time of life when I was learning songs and meeting people and traveling around the country and, meeting Spider John Kerner in Minneapolis and meeting Paul Butterfield in Chicago and meeting Steve Talbot in Berkeley and going to see Jesse Fuller in San Francisco and on and on and on, all over the country, meeting people and meeting Matt Lipscomb and him teaching me Sugar Babe and it's just on and on. It was just like that.
You sound totally put together, totally intelligent, and you did not blow your mind out on drugs and hallucinogens, even though there was that psychedelic era that you kind of glanced upon in your music at a certain point as well. How did you stay away?
I definitely took drugs. I was smoking a lot of pot for a short while, for a few years, and I took LSD, and I did all that stuff.
Do you regret it, or was it all part of the experience?
I don't regret it at all.
Oh, okay. But what about now? Not that we're going to get you arrested or anything, but how much do you do now?
None.
How come?
Just because it's not me now. It was me then, it's not me now. That's all.
So,
No reason.
well, let me ask, let's see, are you a vegetarian? Do you eat everything?
I don't eat red meat, but I eat pretty much everything else.
Okay. In the music and the way things have evolved, let's take it out of the 1960s into the 70s. Did you suddenly find yourself having to change your music again and move more towards folk jazz than jug band?
I didn't change my music because of any other reason than I changed as I grew, and I only changed. Whatever changed came from the inside out, not from the outside in. It wasn't any pressure, any influence, any desire on my part to please anybody other than myself. I was very fortunate in the 60s that the kind of music I wanted to play was a form of folk music at a time when folk music was very popular. So even though we weren't the Kingston Trio, and we weren't Peter, Paul, and Mary, we were a jug band. It was very on the periphery of folk music. So we were on all the folk festivals, and we were on all the folk shows, and we were very popular and successful because folk music was popular. I was very fortunate that happened. I would have been playing that music anyway, but my band became famous because folk music was popular.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like when that movie The Sting came out all those years ago. Suddenly any ragtime piano player had a whole new lease on life. You were going to play ragtime anyway, but boy, oh boy, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what happened. Then as folk music receded in its popularity, I mean, there still has been and there always has been an underground, there's a lot of people who listen to and buy and go see and acoustic music and folk music and stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff that is still going on, but it's not on the radio, it's not popular, it's not, it's not in the mainstream anymore. But that doesn't keep me from playing the music that I love, and I still have a nice fan base of people who like my music, and it keeps me going.
Speaking of still playing and still with a fan base, when people come to see you this Wednesday at Joe's Pub on Lafayette Street in Manhattan this Wednesday night.
Thank you for that plug.
You're very welcome. But what will they hear? In other words, what songs are you playing? Is it jug band style or more folk style? What do they expect?
This particular gig is going to be slightly different than the ones I usually do because I'm doing it with Samoa Wilson, who's a wonderful singer, somebody who I've been performing with since she was a child. We're doing a bunch of jazz standards mostly, and with a fairly good-sized band. We're going to have saxophone, and clarinet, fiddle, and bass, piano, and it's a little bit different than what I've been doing. I've done a lot of gigs recently solo, just play my guitar and sing a lot of these, jazzy kind of ragtime, folky, up-tempo songs, but this is different. This is going to be quite an exciting show, and we're getting ready to make a record.
Oh, Mazel.
Starting today, we're in rehearsal, getting ready for this recording and this gig.
Oh, that's fantastic. What label?
We don't know yet.
Oh, okay. So you're going to record for it and then rehearse it, and can I ask?
Yes.
What are just a couple of the songs that you'll be doing at Joe's Pub, if you know?
Trust in Me, That's Life Outcast, These Foolish Things, I Cry for You, After You've Gone.
Even standards that were almost Tin Pan Alley standards, more than folk standards as well.
Well, there were songs that were recorded by swing and jazz musicians back in the 30s, songs that were recorded by people like Mildred Bailey and Billie Holiday when she was young, and Connie Boswell and stuff like that.
I love to linger in the moonlight on Honolulu Bay. Fond memories cling to me by moonlight, although I'm far away. And all the beaches are full of peaches who bring their yokes along. And in the glimmer of the moonlight, they love to sing their song. If you like ukulele lady, ukulele lady like you. If you like to linger where it's shady, ukulele lady linger too. If you kiss a ukulele lady and you promise ever to be true, and she sees another ukulele lady fooling around with you, maybe she'll cry an awful lot, maybe she'll sigh, and maybe not, maybe she'll find somebody else by and by to sing to, when it's cool and shady, when it's really wicky woo. If you like a ukulele lady like you. She used to sing to me by moonlight on Honolulu Bay. Her memories cling to me by moonlight, although I'm far away. Someday I'm going where breezes are blowing and lips were made to kiss. And in the glimmer of the moonlight, I'll hear that song I miss. If you like a ukulele lady like you. If you like to linger where it's shady, a ukulele lady linger too. If you kiss a ukulele lady and you promise ever to be true, and she sees another ukulele lady fooling around with you, maybe she'll cry an awful lot, maybe she'll sigh, and maybe not, maybe she'll find somebody else by and by to sing to, when it's cool and shady, when it's really wicky woo. If you like a ukulele lady like you, like me, like I like you, and we both like the same. And I like to say this very day, a ukulele lady like you. Ukulele lady like you.
Jim Kweskin, when you listen to music for pleasure, like in the car or on an iPod, what stuff have you been listening to recently?
I still listen mostly to traditional the old music. I listen a lot to my Pandora program, and I put in my own station. My own station includes everything from Django Reinhardt to Leadbelly. You know, I mean, it's all that old style of music that I always have loved and still love. It's the blues guys, you know, it's Reverend Gary Davis, it's Billie Holiday, it's Hank Williams, Jimmy Rogers, it's Gus Cannon's Jug Stompers. I listen to all those people. Uncle Dave Macon, Mississippi John Hurt.
Wow.
Hundreds of them, and I love them.
Just for fun, though, did you keep up with modern music at all from like the 1990s on of rock and roll or pop or the stuff you see on American Idol, or not at all interested?
No, I like it. It's not the stuff that I love. Mm-hmm. But I do follow it. I do listen to it. I hear it, you know, but it's not on my iPod.
Okay.
I respect a lot of these musicians. I think that people like, I think Lady Gaga is an extremely talented person. I think Taylor Swift is extremely talented. It's just not the kind of music that I'm particularly drawn to, but I admire and respect them as musicians, and I have no problem listening to their music. It's just not the music that I'm wildly attracted to.
By the way, you've been a musician for all these years, and a lot of what you had to do, especially over, I would guess, the past 20, 25 years with the recording industry so changed, is to make your living on the road, make your living in person doing live stuff. But you're also a married man with a grown son. So what has it been like all those years trying to be a family person, but also having to make a living the way a musician does?
Well, I didn't make my living as a musician.
Okay. Were you building houses?
I was in the construction business.
Yeah, I wasn't joking. I mean, I read that on Wikipedia, and I was questioning that.
That's true.
How'd you get into that?
I have a friend, and together we formed a construction company back in the 60s. When I broke up the jug band, I made up my mind at that time to not have to play music for a living. I no longer wanted to have to I didn't want to play music because I had to. I wanted to play music because I wanted to. So my friends and I formed this construction company. I was able to make my living doing that, and then I could play music when I felt like it, and play where I wanted to, when I wanted to, with who I wanted to, as much as I wanted to, and not have to worry about whether or not I was supplying, taking care of supporting my family. By the way, I have more than a son. I have 3 children.
Oh, Mazel Miklik. I'm sorry. Congratulations on that. And are you
as well? And I have 8 grandchildren.
8 Oh, Mazel. None of my business, but are you raising them Jewish?
Not particularly, one way or the other.
Right.
My son married an Irish Catholic.
Okay.
So, we're all mixed up now.
It happens. What can I tell? But weren't you a little worried, like when you were in the construction business, if you're hammering and sawing and doing all this stuff, worried that you might hurt your fingers?
Oh, yeah, I was. And actually, I did a couple of times.
Oh.
But, nothing that kept me from, it could have been worse. I didn't cut out my fingers.
Thank God. But are you retired from construction?
Yes, just last year.
Oh, that's lovely. That's a mazel tov on that as well. So now you can concentrate full time on your hobby, I guess, which is music, which you're doing mostly for love still.
Yes, but I'm doing a lot more gigs now than I was when I was with the construction company. As I got older, I was only doing the actual carpentry part early on. Very shortly into it, I was, a supervisor.
That's the best thing. Middle management is the best, let me tell you.
Well, I wasn't swinging a hammer.
Okay. Now, speaking of living situations, one of the weird things, and we didn't really allude to this so much in the conversation about the 60s, though, was one of the members of the jug band, this guy named Mel Lyman, and you lived with him, and he was a friend. What are your overall thoughts? Because there are people who say he started a cult and was a little crazy and dangerous. Your thoughts on Mel Lyman?
No cult. It was a communal family. It was written up very badly because Rolling Stone wanted something to follow up their Charlie Manson story, so they wrote about our communal family, and it was all totally wrong.
Oh, okay.
They got it all wrong, and then they did it to sensationalize and sell magazines or whatever they call newspapers, whatever that is, whatever it was back then. It was on newsprint back in those days.
Right.
And it's just wrong. They got it wrong.
How did you like living in a communal situation? I mean, you don't live like that now. You got a house and kids. But did you like that sort of all together?
I'm still part of that group.
Really?
Yes, really.
So you share groceries and then produce and things like that? How does it work?
Yeah, that works. I don't want to get into the whole thing. That's too long. That's a whole other conversation.
Okay.
Say that it works.
Well, mazel, that's good. Now, speaking of cult-like figures, one of the check out this segue. One of the people who was on a recent album of yours, Penny's Farm, was Van Dyke Parks, and he seems like such a fascinating guy. Do you have any stories about him?
No, Jeffrey Muller brought him in. I know him, but Jeffrey Muller knows him well. I don't really know him that well. We were never like friends or anything like that. I mean, I had met him before, but I really don't know him, and I don't have any stories about him at all. Okay, I thought I would ask. And I think what is lovely is that you mentioned, Jeff Moldau brought him in, that you guys are still friends. You get along even after all these years. They joined you on a reunion tour. Jeff and Maria did a few years back. We got some gigs coming up together.
Oh, you do? See?
Yeah.
Wonderful. What, do you tour internationally or just domestic?
Mostly domestic, but I've done tours in Japan and Europe, so I've done some, but mostly domestic. This is domestic, but in the fall I got some gigs coming up in Alaska. I've never been there, so I'm excited about that.
Ooh, that's exciting.
It is domestic, but it's pretty far away.
This is the time to do it. You can't wait 10 more or 15 more years of your life. Do these things now while you can.
Why, can't I do these gigs when I'm 90?
Well, you can try. And God willing, you'll be... How are you feeling? Are you physically well? Do you have any issues? How are you doing?
Yeah. I'm good.
Thank God. And you know, the one thing I forgot to mention, and people with children or even actually people my age will love this. I never realized that you guys, you, Jim Kweskin, and your early band, you did the song The Ladybug's Picnic for Sesame Street. I love that song. How did that come about?
Me too. Well, they just called me up. It was a children's television workshop. Called me up and asked me to do it. That's so I went in and did it. That's all.
Okay, it's a fabulous song. We're going to play it as part of the segment.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The ladybugs came to the ladybug's picnic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And they all played games at the ladybug's picnic. They had 12 sacks of their red sack races, and they fell on the backs and they fell on the faces. The ladybugs 12 at the ladybug's picnic. They played jump rope, but the rope it broke, so they just sat around telling knock-knock jokes. The ladybugs 12 at the ladybug's picnic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and they chatted away at the ladybug's picnic. They talked about the high price of furniture and rugs and fire insurance for ladybugs. Ladybugs 12 at the ladybug's picnic. 12.
We've been talking with Jim Kweskin, who is, again, it's KWESKIN. He's got a website. You can find out all about where he's touring and his background and what he's done. JimKweskin.com. And also, go see him at Joe's Pub on Lafayette Street, downtown Manhattan, part of the Public Theater there, this Wednesday night, May 30th. You can buy tickets, by the way, at publictheater.org, and that's theater, ER, publictheater.org. Last question for you, Jim, and we thank you so much for joining us. So if you had to pick an all-time favorite song that you play and an all-time favorite song of yours that you don't play, that you just like to listen to, what would they be?
Oh, boy. It's impossible. That's like asking me to pick which child I like best of my kids. You can't do that. I have no idea. I mean, you know, it changes from day to day. Every day, whatever song I'm working on.
All right. I mean, a lot of music, I understand the impetus behind that, but then I'll force you to answer this one. Do you have a favorite album that you guys you or one of your bands put out?
Well, I would say I have a couple. Of the early albums, I really like the Jim Kweskin's America album, which is not the Jug Band, but it's some other musicians. So it was just slightly after the Jug Band. Although I think of all the Jug Band albums, I would say the one called Jug Band Music is my favorite. The one where Maria sings "I'm a Woman," and anyway, there's that. And then more recently, the album that I did with Jeff Moldor called Penny's Farm. I'm very proud of that album. And I'm also on an album. It's not my album, but I'm on an album called The Texas Sheiks. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
No, Texas Sheiks, like the Arab Sheiks?
Yes. Mm-hmm. It's Jeff Moldor and his Texas Sheiks. It's his band. He put it together, and I joined him and played guitar on banjo on a few songs and sang 3 of the songs on the album. And that's a really good, if you like roots revival music, where us guys take some of these old material that I've been doing all my life and give it our arrangement, but still stick to the feel of the time when these songs were played. That's a really good one.
Well, this has been a really, really good one, talking to Jim Kweskin. We wish you great music ahead, a terrific time this Wednesday night at Joe's Pub, and good luck on the new album that you'll be working on, and everything that you'll be doing for 10, 20, 30 more years, God willing. Thank you so much for joining us.
All right, nice talking to you. Thank you.
Shalom.
Shalom.
looks like we'll be all over, and our pilgrimage will end. Soon we'll take our heavenly journey, be at home again with friends. Heaven's gates are standing open, waiting for our entrance there. Some sweet day we're going over, all the beauty's there to share.
Big thank you to Jim Kweskin for being with us in the neighborhood on this Saturday morning, May 26, 2018, last Saturday in May. We're doing the Dave's Gone By radio TV program of the stream with me, Dave Lefkowitz. It's our 652nd episode of the show. If you want to go back and hear the very first episode we ever did, or the 8th episode, or the 25th, or the 125th, the 482nd, they're all there. All you got to do is go to the website, davesgoneby.com, DAVESGONEBY, davesgoneby.com, and you can hear the interviews with people like Jim Kweskin, and also the comedy bits we do, and the weird, goofy segments that you won't hear anywhere else except on Dave's Gone By. All the archives except for maybe 3 or 4 episodes that got lost in the wind over the years, they're all there. And they're all for free to either stream on your computer or their podcasts. You can listen to them as MP3s or download them. davesgoneby.com. Just hit the archive section. We have one archive of just shows chronologically, a separate archive of just the interviews that we've done with all the music stripped out. So, for example, if you go listen to the Kweskin interview that Rabbi Saul just did, you'll find in the separate archive, you'll hear just the interview and not the songs that we played along with it. For that, you have to go hear the whole entire show. But either way, it's all there at the website. And also, remember that if you want to drop me an email, you want to get in touch, a couple of ways you can do that. davesgoneby@aol.com or right here on Facebook. I'd love to have your messages, whether the show is currently live streaming like it is now, or whether it's already recorded and you just want to tell me something for the week ahead. Remember that the website is facebook.com/radio Dave Lefkowitz. You all know that because you're here, but please, please, please tell your friends. We've got 4,600 people who like and follow this Facebook website, this stream. Would love to get it up to 5,000. I think Facebook caps the max of friends and things at 5,000, but wouldn't it be great to just have more and more folks being part of the neighborhood? Now, you guys are lucky because you're all tuned in and you get to hear the other stuff that we'll be doing on this episode today. For example, we've got a Saturday segue of songs in the news. Also, what do we have? We have our a wretched pun of destiny. We were doing those for a while and then we tailed off. We had one more like a year ago that we did, and then just magically came back. Last week, we had a new wretched pun, and now we have one more, a brand new wretched pun of destiny to do for you this show. So you're really not going to want to miss that, believe me. And what else? We've got Dave's Big Dictionary, where I'll be talking about the word virgin. Hey, my wife chose it. I did not. That's the random word that came up. Plus, we will tell you more of the entrancing tale of Hans and his cow, or at least the cow he'll eventually get, one assumes, as we work our way through A Cow for Hansel on StoryTime. So all of that. God, I've got to oil this chair. Hold on. Let me see if I can switch chairs here. This is getting really irritating. Imagine anything at this university working properly. Here we go. Let's try this. Oh, much better. And a bit higher up, so I can do that. Yeah, all right, we can do that. Anyway, poetry fans, literature fans, it's time for one of my favorite segments of the program. It's a poetry segment where we do a limerick. Yes, you know the limerick. It's the 5 stanzas. It's rhyme, rhyme, other rhyme, first rhyme, usually done in terms of things that are a little risque, a little non-classy. Well, I totally take that to heart in doing these Colorado Limericks of the Damned, where every week we take a different town or city in Colorado and write a limerick about it and share that with you. It is Colorado Limericks of the Damned, 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 damned.
A limerick is a comic verse of 5 lines, in which lines 1, 2, and 5 end with words that rhyme. And likewise, verses 3 and 4 also end with words that rhyme. So this is a limerick. Rocky Mountain, Colorado, 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 Colorado,
Okay, so you might want to get the kiddies out of the room for this, because it is a limerick. It's not a beautiful Elizabeth Barrett Browning love sonnet. This is a brand new limerick about a place in Colorado, and this week's place, because we've done Arriba, we've done Antonita, we've done Arvada. We're staying with the A's, and this time we've got a pretty well-known one, Aspen. We do have a poem, ladies and gentlemen, about Aspen, Colorado. Are you ready? I know I am. Okay, Colorado Limerick of the Damned. A wizened old floozy from Aspen, whose voice is all throaty and raspin', blames African guys and their massive size for leaving her gagging and gasping. Yes, thank you ever so much. That was our Colorado Limerick of the Damned for this Saturday, May 26, 2018. Again, write your complaint letters to Dave's Gone By at AOL.com. You know, I talked about the folks just moments ago of people who've been on this program, famous folks, not so famous folks, and how do I work this stupid chair? There we go. There we go. Hello, welcome back. So we call them the Friends of the Neighborhood because they appear on this show. They're our guests. And maybe 5 years ago, they were doing a Broadway show or releasing a recording, or they've written a book. Well, the years go by, they end up doing other stuff, and we like to keep tabs on them. We're proud that we had them right here on the program. And so we call this segment Friends of the Neighborhood, where we keep tabs on our friends. Nothing like a little Berlioz in the morning from my favorite breakfast cereal there. That's our background music for Friends of the Neighborhood, who this week include, where are they? Here they are. Want to let you know, or remind you one more time, that Miss You Like Hell, the off-Broadway musical that recently ended at the Public Theater and starred our friend Daphne Rubin Vega, she was on our show back in 2006, is getting a cast album from Ghost Light Records. And also, we do wish Daphne Rubin Vega the best because the Drama Desk Awards are coming up, and she's up for, I guess, featured actress in a musical there. So congratulations again. Want to let you know that now through tomorrow, this weekend, is her last. It's the whole weekend long, so tomorrow's the last day. I think it's going on today as well. At Theater for the New City, off Broadway, they're doing their Lower East Side Festival that they do every year. Guests at the festival include our friends Austin Pendleton, who is ubiquitous, who was just cast in something else a week or so ago, and veteran playwright Mario Frati, who was on our show, 2-3 years ago, maybe more now. Theater critic and also a playwright. He co-wrote the musical Nine, or it was actually based on an Italian play that he wrote, and they adapted it. So, yeah, Mario, he's still alive and well. I think he's about 91 years old. He's going to be at the Lower East Side Festival this weekend, so that's pretty wonderful to hear. On Broadway, School of Rock has a book by Glenn Slater, and it's on Broadway. right? And it's a delightful show. I saw it a year or so ago. But if you can't make it 2,000 miles away from here in Greeley, Colorado, guess what? It's touring, and it's at the Denver Center as we speak, or it will be running from May 29th to June 10th at the DCPA. And the songs, by the way, are by someone you may have heard of, Andrew Lloyd Webber. So big musical there, School of Rock, and I do certainly recommend it. It's a very fun time at the theater. Catch it in New York or catch it in Denver, and congrats to Glenn Slater, who wrote the book of that show. Ruben Santiago Hudson, he is directing a production of Othello for the Public Theater's Shakespeare in the Park. I mean, is there anything more legendarily New York than free Shakespeare in the park? And that's being directed by our friend Ruben Santiago Hudson, and you can catch that between May 29th and June 24th at the Delacorte Theater. Letting you know that this Thursday, Gary Lucas, our multi-instrumentalist friend, since we're talking about folk and blues and jazz rock, this is a guy who was in one of the iterations of Captain Beefheart's Magic Band. He was Captain Beefheart's de facto manager for a few years, longtime friend of Don Van Vliet, Gary Lucas. His band, Gods and Monsters, is going to be playing at the Illyrium that's not the Illyrium, the Iridium. Ooh, wake up, Dave. The Iridium is happening this Thursday. GaryLucas.com for more information. From June 1st through June 10th in the little town of Issaquah, Washington State. Never mentioned this place, but yeah, they're doing a new musical. They are workshopping a zombie musical called ZM, which is co-written by Greg Kogas and Mark Holman. Greg Kogas, a friend of the neighborhood. He was one of the early members of Too Much Light Makes the Baby Go Blind, and is best known, the two of them are known for writing Urinetown, the musical, and they're both, working on that musical adaptation of The Sting, which is Broadway bound in a year or two or three. But if you want to check out their zombie musical, ZM, it's in a workshop at the Village Theater in Issaquah, Washington. Playing now through early July on Broadway, The Iceman Cometh. Now, Denzel Washington, alas, has not been on this program, but Dakin Matthews has. He's playing a small role of Piet, and you can catch that on Broadway. Now, I told you I mentioned Austin Pendleton, right? Did I say he was ubiquitous? He's doing a scene study and monologue class as part of the United Solo Theater Festival that is happening this Thursday, May 31st, Austin Pendleton, as part of United Solo, and you can sign up for that. It's not terribly expensive. I think it's about $25 or $35. Playing from the end of May through early July, two of our friends, Donna McKechnie and Andre DeShields, both of them in the musical Halftime at the Paper Mill Playhouse in Millburn, New Jersey. Playing on Broadway for hopefully a long time to come, the terrific musical The Band's Visit, that features lyrics and music by our friend David Yazbek. That is at the Barrymore Theater. And fingers crossed, I'm pretty sure that musical will beat out Mean Girls to win the Tony this year. We'll see. I want to let you know that Chaz Palminteri, well, he and Glenn Slater and Alan Menken co-wrote the Broadway musical A Bronx Tale. Not only that, Palminteri has gone into the show, playing a character. He plays Sonny on weekdays at the Longacre Theater. So you're going to want to see him in that. LaChanze, she is one of the Donnas in the Donna Summer musical on Broadway, and LaChanze got terrific reviews. The musical did not, but it's quite popular and could turn into a sleeper hit. It's Summer, and that is playing at the Lunt-Fontanne Theater. Daniel Breaker is playing Aaron Burr in Hamilton at the Richard Rogers Theater. And then moving away from Broadway to cabaret and nightlife, remember Jim Caruso's Cast Party every Monday night at Birdland. And also, if you're looking for information about New York nightlife and the theater, you're going to want to check out Evan Seplow's website, stageBuddy.com. If you're just looking for laughs, remember that Dr. Demento is still doing Dr. Demento shows, brand new ones, at drdemento.com, as well as archiving all the old ones for a small fee. So Dr. Demento, longtime friend of this radio show. Got to give a shout out to our friend Eva Heineman. She is a theater critic who does a theater review TV program on Manhattan Neighborhood Network, New York Television. And Eva will be one of the guests on our annual Tony Awards special that's happening Saturday, June 9th, as will Charlie Gross and Leslie Hoban Blake. They co-host Two on the Aisle, another theater review program on Manhattan Neighborhood Network every other week. For more information, go to mnn.org, because if you're in New York, you can watch them live on TV, but mnn.org also streams, so you can watch the show from wherever you are. And as a matter of fact, Two on the Aisle even archives their programs on YouTube, so you can check it there. So a big shout out to all these friends of the neighborhood. And finally, Bob Cudmore doing podcasts of his readings or his research and interviews about upstate New York history. As a matter of fact, Bob Cudmore is raising, I think, about $5,000 to do the podcasts and make them bigger and expand them and do more promotion. And he's about 25% towards his goal. He's got a GoFundMe page. So find that, Bob Cudmore, C-U-D-M-O-R-E, bobcudmore.com. And those, my friends, are the friends of the neighborhood. All right. Jesus. I love my Berlioz in the morning, my favorite breakfast cereal. Ladies and gentlemen, we have more to do on this episode of Dave's Gone By. It's about 25 minutes to noon Mountain Time, 25 to 2 Eastern Time, if you're one of our friends watching on the East Coast. And we thank all of you for tuning into and enjoying life in the neighborhood with me, Dave Lefkowitz. We've got our story time coming up with A Cow for Hansel. Part 11 of this major book by Erna Holier, and we'll go into the dictionary for our look at the word virgin. You don't want to miss that, coming up on Dave's Gone By. But before that, let's get to our Saturday Segue, which is where we play songs or portions of songs that have something to do with stuff that's going on in the world and current events. So the idea is not only to hopefully enjoy the music, but to figure, Dave is playing that song for a reason. Why? What happened in the newspapers, or nobody reads the newspaper anymore, but what happened in the news this week that is related to the title of the song, what the song is about, who performs the tune. So you got to keep that in mind while also enjoying the music. It's called the Saturday Segue of Songs in the News. Let's start with something that just happened yesterday and a little bit of Nirvana.
Rape me, my friend. Rape me again. I'm the only one. I'm the only one. I'm the only one. I'm the only
A little bit of Kurt Cobain and the gang there. doing Rape Me from the album In Utero. Why on earth would I play a song such on this pleasant Saturday morning in Greeley, Colorado? It's going to be nice and warm out there, later on quite sunny. Why would I start Saturday Segue with a song called Rape Me? Well, two women are accusing, of course, Harvey Weinstein of rape and other not nice things. So he finally had to do the perp walk. He had to go to court. He had to wear the handcuffs, and he is out on $2 million bail after pleading not guilty. Remember that through all of this over the past few months, Weinstein has proclaimed his innocence, that he has not touched or any sexual contact that he's had with any of these women was, quote-unquote, consensual. Coercion is not the same as rape, but he is being accused of rape and other naughty things. So we'll see. Now it's out there. It's going to the courts. We saw what happened to Bill Cosby. I wonder, he wasn't sentenced yet. I wonder what will happen to Bill Cosby. In related news, the Me Too thing is back. Suddenly, Morgan Freeman, really, that'd have to be, of all people, Morgan Freeman. He's sort of denying. I mean, he's admitted that he might have been somewhat inappropriate, but he never meant to be, and he never did anything. And then, right? I want to believe him, but who the hell knows? I will say this, and I talked about this with Joyce before. If you hadn't heard, I will reiterate that the guy who was accusing George Takei of Star Trek, of being bad, Kevin Spacey bad, 30-something years ago at a party, recanted. And he said, nope, nothing happened. He made a move on me. I wasn't interested. I told him that. He backed off. He didn't tamper with my drink. He didn't touch me. He was a gentleman. And so all this casting askance. Of all people, George Takei, all I can possibly do is have potatoes say, oh my. So congratulations. I mean, that's one of the happiest bits of news I can relate to you. Just not happy to hear about Morgan Freeman. I'm hoping that's not true with Harvey Weinstein. Let the courts handle it, which they will. Here on Dave's Gone By. So that's why we played Rape Me by Nirvana. Do we have a happier reason to play a song in this Saturday Segue? Later, yes, but not immediately. This one's kind of sad.
And the spider's web, this is some pig. He's some pig, some terrific, radiant, humble pig. Some pig. Oh, wow, look at him now, Zuckerman's famous pig. Suey, what do you see? The greatest hog in history. Fine swine, wish he was mine. What if he's not so big? He's some terrific, radiant, humble, thingamajig of a fine phenomena. My land, isn't he grand? Zuckerman's famous pig. Golly, you gotta agree, he's a real celebrity. Fine swine, wish he was mine. What if he's not so big? He's some terrific, radiant, humble, thingamajig of a pig. The terrific, radiant, humble. Zuckerman.
Hint.
Zuckerman's famous pig.
Yes, indeed. Does anybody recognize that? That is actually from the 1973 animated musical movie version of E.B. White's classic book Charlotte's Web, all about, Charlotte's friend, the pig. What was his name? Was it Wilbur? I think it was Wilbur. Anyway, why would I play that? Well, it does have a literary reason. The reason we played Zuckerman's favorite pig from the film soundtrack of Charlotte's Web. It is a sad reason. In case you have not heard, Philip Roth passed away this past week. He was 85 years old, and he died on May 22nd of heart failure. He was born March 19th, 1933 in Newark, New Jersey. So wait, what does that have to do with playing something involved in E.B. White's book, Charlotte's Web? Well, Zuckerman's favorite pig, Zuckerman. Well, yeah, Philip Roth's most famous protagonist in several of his books was a character named Zuckerman. And that's why we played that bit from Charlotte Web. Of course, we all, back in high school days and college days, we read Goodbye Columbus. And then there was Portnoy's Complaint, one of his most controversial books. My favorite Philip Roth book, the one that really honestly blew me away, that I read a few years ago when I went on a Philip Roth jag, was reading American Pastoral. It won the Pulitzer Prize. It deserved it, even though I would say the last 50 pages of the book just wrap things up too quick and kind of go off the rails. But the writing through most of American Pastoral is just astonishing. If you ever thought just of how gloves are made and how that could possibly be interesting, read Philip Roth's American Pastoral. I also read I Married a Communist, which was pretty good and apparently based on his not very happy marriage with Claire Bloom. Let's see. Roth was separated from his first wife, Margaret Martinson, who, after they were separated, she was killed in a car crash, and therefore, in a weird way, she haunted and was represented by several of the female characters in his later book. He had, as I said, an ugly separation from Claire Bloom. They both wrote books about their relationship. Alas, Roth retired from writing back in 2012. He still gave a few interviews here and there after that. This is a quote on Wikipedia from Philip Roth. And he was asked, not an optimistic guy. You could tell he was Jewish. But later in life, you get these writers who are very sanguine and kind of, well, there's an old guard and a new guard, and there's a new cycle, and the young people will come up and the world goes on. Philip Roth was not like that. Philip Roth was in a perpetual, funky, Jewy cloud for his whole later life. As we hear in this one, he's asked about the future of the novel, the future of writing. Philip Roth said, quote, "I think reading novels is going to be cultic. People will be reading them, but it will be a small group of people. To read a novel requires a certain amount of concentration, focus, devotion to the reading. So if you read a novel in more than 2 weeks, you don't read the novel, really. That kind of concentration and focus and attentiveness is hard to come by in large numbers of people." But I still think that just like we read a little bit of, it's taken a lot longer than 2 weeks, but we still read a cow for Hansel here in the neighborhood. People will be picking up Goodbye Columbus or The Breast or I Married a Communist or Portnoy's Complaint or any number of Philip Roth novels. He was a literary lion along the lines of Norman Mailer and Saul Bellow and people like that. So it's a loss. It is, in some ways, the end of a literary generation, losing him. So a big, sad farewell to Philip Roth from the neighborhood. And speaking of farewells, how about this song, which I'm sure you all know?
You say goodbye, and I say hello. I never know. I don't know why you say goodbye. I say hello. Hello, hello. I don't know why you say goodbye. I say hello. I say hi. You say no. You say why. And I say I don't know. Oh no. You say goodbye, and I say hello. Hello, hello. I don't know why I say goodbye. I say hello.
Big of the Beatles there, of course, on Dave's Gone By, with their song Hello Goodbye, which at least Americans first heard on Magical Mystery Tour. Why would I be playing that? It's about farewells or one person saying one thing, the other person not, one positive, one negative. How to play that just in, I don't know if the word is honor, but just to mark the path at the moment of American and North Korean relationships. Because this week, that's right, Donald Trump, who had been touting a peace talk, rapprochement, a détente, a deal perhaps, well, it would be a deal with Donald Trump, but a getting together at the very least with Kim Jong-un in the middle of June. Yeah, I guess it does rhyme with June. So, and they would meet together, I think in Singapore they were going to do it, and hash things out. And North Korea would stop with its nuclear programs, and then there would be fewer sanctions from the United States, and the United States would be leaning on other countries to go hard on North Korea in terms of supplies and goods and services and things. And so they were getting ready for this, and North Korea blew up a nuclear site. They said it was a nuclear site that they had. Probably blew up because half the thing collapsed anyway, so they figured they'd get rid of it, no big deal. But okay, and this was all happening, and everybody was kind of making nice, and then North Korea was not making so nice verbally, and they said something not cool about Mike Pence, the vice president, etc. And suddenly, Donald Trump calls the whole thing off. And he says, no, it's not going to happen. We don't like their rhetoric. We don't like their tone. They will come to the table. So it was kind of like, hey, we're doing it. And then Trump was like, nope. And then North Korea, oddly enough, instead of coming back in a harsh and more contentious, warlike way, said, hey, look, we still want to talk. We're ready to talk when you are. And so maybe the June 12th or whatever date it is summit will be back on, or they'll reschedule, because apparently Kim Jong-un has a habit of changing the dates and moving things around and postponing and delaying. But this time the delay was on Trump's side, maybe with good reason, maybe not. It's just kind of funny that they keep going this mutual back and forth, and this almost playing hard to get between the two of them. When ages ago, Trump was calling him Little Big Man or Rocket Man and making fun of him. And then that hard line, along with pressure probably by Russia and China, made North Korea come to the table a little bit. They came, but then they're like, I'm not so sure. And Donald Trump, well, if you're not sure, we're not doing it. This is the state of affairs that we've got. It's hello, you say hello, I say goodbye, and eventually the whole world explodes in a nuclear fireball. That's what we're living in, ladies and gentlemen, here in modern times. And that's why we played that Beatles song on Dave's Gone By. Do we have one more song for our Saturday segue for this May 26th, 2018? Oh, yeah, we do. And this one isn't happy either. What can I tell you? But it's nothing directly. Well, it was much sadder, let's say, when it was originally performed. This is from a compilation album called No Alternative.
Little emerald bird wants to fly away. If I cupped my hand, could I make him stay? Little emerald soul, little emerald eye, little emerald soul, must you say goodbye? All the things that we pursue, all that we dream, are composed as nature knew, in a feather green. Little emerald bird, as you light afar, it is true I heard, God is where you are. Little emerald soul, little emerald eye, little emerald bird, we must say goodbye.
Did you know who that was singing? That was actually Patti Smith with an a cappella song. The song title, though, it's kind of a tricky one, but the song title, pardon me, is not Little Emerald Bird. The name of the song is Memorial Song. Aha! That's why I play, of course, for our Saturday Segue, Memorial Song, because Monday, May 30th, is Memorial Day. It's the day that we honor fallen veterans of all the wars that we've had in America. I didn't realize this, that Memorial Day came out of a custom that started even before the Civil War of going to cemeteries and decorating people's graves on a certain day. You know, as a Jewish person, our idea of decorating a grave is putting a rock on it. Only Jews would think it. You know, Goyim, they think of flowers, they put pretty things and emblems and stickers. They go to Jim Morrison's grave and they pour some whiskey. Jews is like, yeah, I forgot to bring a gift. A rock, he's dead. He won't know, he won't mind. Boom, and you put a rock on top of the grave. But if you want to decorate it nice, that's what people do on Memorial Day to honor the veterans, and it's happening this Monday in America. So, of course, we do honor and respect all the folks who have given their lives for this country, be it in the Civil War, World War I, World War II, Korea, Grenada, Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan, etc. Hopefully not Syria, hopefully not North Korea, hopefully not God knows where. But anyway, not a happy one, but a thoughtful Memorial Day to all of you this coming Monday. Well, we're getting up on close to noon Mountain Time here in Greeley, Colorado, at the University of Northern Colorado, where the radio station isn't, but my office is. So this has become kind of a cool secondary place to do the program, and certainly visually, I prefer it. I mean, come on, how can you beat this? I'm Dave Lefkowitz, doing the Dave's Gone By program. We're almost through, but we still have a little bit more to do on this episode because, as we mentioned a while back, first of all, we've got Dave's Big Dictionary coming, where I'll be talking about the word virgin, oh yes, and trying to think of something to say about it. But before then, oh yes, remember you took the kids away from the radio, from the computer for our naughty limerick of the week? Well, now you can bring them back because we're going to be doing A Cow for Hansel. This is a book written back in 1967 by a woman, by Erna Holyer, although, of course, on the book, because it's kind of a boys' book, and in order to sell copies, they actually put her name as Ernie Holyer. You know, kind of a little bait and switch there. But here's the deal. I had no idea about this book, no idea about the author, but months ago, we brought our Subaru in for new brake pads, and in the service station that we use, they have newspapers and a couple of car magazines and books for kids, and among them was this, A Cow for Hansel, a slightly religious-esque book. I didn't really realize it when I first grabbed it. All about post-feudal, just pre-Nazi-ish Germany, rural farmers, poor farmers. And Hansel is a young boy to a poor but loving mom and dad. Here's the deal. The town that he lives in, Oberhausen, Germany, has had a cattle plague. Yes, you can tell this is going to be a fun book. So the cattle plague killed lots of people's herds of cattle and also made the ones who were left alive unable to give a lot of milk. So they really want a new cow for this farm. Problem is, cows are really expensive. He goes to town with his father, and they can't afford a cow. They end up bringing back a goat, which means they're really kind of lower-class, poorer people. What can they do? Well, Hans goes to work and help on a nearby farm a few houses away from Mr. Kaiser, and his son and his two daughters also live on the farm. And he does better. You know, Mr. Kaiser has a bit more money. He's got oxen. He's got more land. In fact, Hans volunteers to take a patch of land that nothing grows on. It's all weeds and thickets and thistles. And he says, you know what? I will work for no wages. I won't do anything. Just give me this land to grow potatoes on, and that will be fine. And begrudgingly, for some reason, Mr. Kaiser agrees. So we're pretty much at that point, and Hans has just been working his ass off because he's got to do stuff at home. He's got to do work on the Kaiser farm, and also he's going to school at the same time. So he doesn't have a lot of fun activity in his life, except it is now time for the big town fair in Oberhausen. So we come to this brand new chapter. Oh, aren't you excited? It's called Maypole Adventure here in A Cow for Hansel. And we're going to go through it. Here we go. The musicians returned to the square and came to a halt on the platform. The children loved this pause because it gave them a chance to show off their courage by pulling off a pretzel or two from the maypole. And no, this is not some sort of vague metaphor for what Harvey Weinstein was doing. Like all other self-respecting boys, Sepp and Hans were not to be outdone. Sepp tackled the maypole first, climbing as high as he could and groping for the ribbons. "Get the pretzels!" Hans yelled up to him. The pole swayed, and Sepp's hand withdrew. He kept trying until the blood drained out of his face. "Pull the wreath toward you! Grab the ribbons!" the youngsters yelled. Try as he might, Sepp could not reach the pretzels. Exhausted, he slid down. "Why don't you try it, Hansel?" he encouraged breathlessly. Or I should say, why don't you try it, Hansel? That's acting, but that's acting right there. Okay. Hans did not feel like climbing the pole just then. Well, he's still young. And so he let other boys go ahead of him, and try as they might, they did not seem to be able to return with the desired pretzels. Hans wondered why. Last year, the boys had pulled the pretzels off before he even had a chance to try his hand at them. When no one else was left, Hans decided to try his luck. Pulling himself up was fun, but about 5 arm lengths from the top, the pole began to sway, and Hans suddenly knew why Sepp had not reached the pretzels. The maypole crackled like fireworks. What the hell did they put in maypole? Isn't it just like the Festivus pole? Isn't it an aluminum thing going back and forth? I don't know. Anyway, carefully, Hans inched his way upward. He was still too far away from those tempting brown pretzels between the blue and white ribbons. Hans's knees clutched the pole. Oh, this could be a very different book. Reaching up as high as he could, his right hand touched the wreath's sharp needles. Suddenly, the pole began to bend over under Hans's weight. A gasp went through the crowd. Hans glanced downward. His head swam. For a moment, he almost lost his grip. Closing his eyes, he waited until the giddy spell was over. Once again, he reached for the wreath, but without success. Then he slid down the pole to the ground below. "It's a tricky maypole this year, isn't it?" Sepp grinned. Hans nodded. He was still dizzy. "I could eat some of those pretzels," announced Sepp. "I'm hungry from all this climbing. How about you, Hansel?" "I guess so." "Let's go home, Sepp." The other members of the family soon followed them. By the time the boys arrived at the Kaiser farm, Hans's stomach felt better. Mother Kaiser had kept the fire going between visiting. Lisbeth and Stacy, those are the sisters, Sepp's sisters on the Kaiser farm, wouldn't have to do all the kitchen work alone. I skipped a thing here. Okay. Mother Kaiser had kept the fire going between visiting. Lisbeth and Stacy made warm potato salad. Wait, that's not nice, Tabby. We don't like potato. I know. I'm sorry, potato. Anyway, she made potato salad and fixed a crisp bowl of lettuce. Mr. Kaiser fed the chickens. Little belated chicken alert there. And the boys fetched firewood for the wood box. All the members of the Kaiser family helped with the household chores that day, so Mother Kaiser wouldn't have to do all the kitchen work alone. After dinner, they did the dishes together, and together they hurried back to the square where the brass band played for their enjoyment. Mr. Kaiser exchanged small talk with the school teacher and several other respected men of the community. Mother Kaiser visited with the older ladies of the church group. Lisbeth greeted, what did she greet? Oh, this chapter is longer than I thought. hold on. Here we go. She greeted her fiancé, who had come from his village, and Stacy joined the single girls by the platform. Look at Stefan, the grocer's son. His Edelweiss has gone from his hat. Oh, isn't that? Oh, when the Edelweiss falls off your hat, friends. What can I tell you? Hans whispered that to Sepp, by the way. I wonder whether he gave it to Stacy. Sepp furrowed his brow. Do you think he wants to marry her? I hope not, because we need her at home. With Lisbeth leaving us, we'll have to work like oxen anyway. But if Stefan gave her his Edelweiss, Hans mused, maybe he gave it to some other girl. Sepp grinned again. Tee-hee. The Edelweiss grows in craggy places high up in the mountains. To get one of the white, velvety blossoms, a climber often has to risk his life. If the rare flower was offered to a girl, it meant he liked her. Let's try again for the pretzels, suggested Hans, heading for the maypole. The pretzels still dangled from the wreath. Unconquered, they challenged the youngster's courage. Sepp began climbing up. Hans noticed that whenever Sepp leaned forward, the wreath swung away from him in front, while the ribbons nearly brushed his back. I'm afraid the pretzels will have to go to waste this year, Sepp laughed as he slid down the pole without the pretzels. Hans had been watching closely. He climbed up and clamped his legs around the slender pole. Oh, yes, he did. Leaning forward, he cautiously reached behind his back, grabbed a ribbon, and pulled it toward him. Ever so carefully, he straightened up, then picked off the pretzels. He stuffed the pretzels into his pocket until they could hold no more. The youngsters below cheered. Hans turned the wreath with the aid of the ribbons and managed to get all the pretzels. He tossed the trophies to the squealing youngsters on the ground, hoping the paperboy might catch one or two. He's got a really poor paperboy, by the way. Down below, the youngsters scrambled to get the goodies. The brass band stopped, and the musicians looked up. The conductor raised his arm, and the band played a salute. The people on the platform sang, "High shall we live, high shall we live, 3 times high." Yeah, this is what popular music was like back in that time. Hans felt self-conscious. The salute was for him. He waved his little green hat. It's not green, but you can imagine. Wavy, wavy. There you go. Sliding down, he tumbled into the arms of his parents. Pride and happiness radiated from their faces. "You scared us, Hansel. Why, you could have gotten yourself killed," Mama threatened with feigned severity, the way mothers do. Hans shared his pretzels with Sepp and his parents. Papa bought ginger ale and Limburger cheese. Yeah. No wonder these people are poor. Nobody wants to go near them. They're buying Limburger cheese. He and Mama joined the boys until it was supper time. If it had been left to the boys, they would have stayed up late, but Mr. Kaiser had an iron rule. Young people must be home before dark. That was some more acting right there. May blossomed forth with pretty shades of green everywhere. Swallows and starlings returned to their old nests in the barns and trees. The apple trees were smothered with dainty pink blossoms. The orchards burst with the songs of singing birds, and near the forest, the call of the cuckoo could be heard. Hi, it's me, Dave Lefkowitz. Yeah, that's a call of the cuckoo. Okay. In the Hohenleitner's garden, fluffy yellow baby chicks cheeped, beep, 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 and the black ewe tenderly licked her twin white lambs. I'm not going there. Okay. Mama moved her knitting basket from the kitchen stove to the sweet-smelling lilac bush. A yellow sweater grew larger and larger under her busy fingers. I wish you'd take time out for Lisbeth's wedding, Mama, Hans urged one day. I'll go to Stacy's wedding when she gets married to the grocer's son next fall, Hansel, Mother rejoined. But that will be months and months from now, Mama. I know, said Mama, as she kept the needles clicking. Stefan had proposed last Sunday. Now the wedding date had been announced. Stacy won't have to worry about whooping. Oh, I was waiting for this. This is, when I first started reading it, I was making more fun and having more goofy fun with this book, A Cow for Hansel. And then less and less, because you get into the story, and it's not a bad book in any stretch. It is what it was meant to be, a young person's storybook about this very moral, good German boy. Okay, fine. So now they're talking about Stacy, that the daughter of Mr. Kaiser. Stefan did propose. He gave her his Edelweiss. It's happening. Hans is talking to his mom, and he's saying, "Oh, please don't work so hard. It'd be good if you go to the wedding." Okay, the wedding day had been announced, and this is what Mama says about love and romance and Stacy getting married. Stacy won't have to worry about hoof and mouth disease and such selling groceries. Oh, wow. That's, forget Dr. Zhivago, forget Jules and Jim. That's love right there. That's a description. She won't have to worry about hoof and mouth disease. We'll have cows again, Mama. You'll see, Hans encouraged. Then Papa won't have to work for other people anymore. And you won't have to knit all the time. Hans would have loved to go to Lisbeth's wedding himself, but he was having trouble with his potato field. The week before, he had made a shocking discovery, and he had been worried ever since. So that's the end. So much fun. He gets the pretzels, he has his nighttime, and then suddenly the story magically jumps to a time jump a week later, and now everybody's worried again about hoof and mouth disease, and Hansel has made a horrible discovery, maybe like Ed Gein has been hiding out there on Mr. Kaiser's farm. Anyway, that concludes this chapter and this presentation of A Cow for Hansel on this Saturday, May 26th, 2018, here in the Daverhood, where we do Dave's Gone By every Saturday from 9 until noon or thereabouts. Here on Facebook, Radio Dave Lefkowitz is the place. We're going to figure out how to get also our audio stream going again so that we can really it is a radio show. This is not meant to be that visual, as you can see, but I'm used to it now. And it's kind of cool. And we have all these people, all these friends and likers and followers on Facebook. The one thing I ask you is, if you know somebody who would enjoy this show and they're on Facebook, message them. Give them a clue. Tell them, hey, this program happens every Saturday morning. Come see it. Maybe you'll like it. And if you do like and follow this website or this page on Facebook, remember that you can do even more than just like us or more than just put us on your follow. Put us as See First, where it says like and follow. See First just means that whenever we go live or whenever we post something, it automatically goes right there into your feed when you're looking at your friends' stuff. Because if you just have a couple of friends on Facebook, you see everything. But if like this show, if like me, you've got hundreds and hundreds of Facebook friends and acquaintances, it's weird. Like there's certain people you see all the time and other folks who post and you never even know about it unless you go to their page. Putting us as See First lets you know that, ooh, Dave's posted something. Ooh, I should tune in to the Dave's Gone By page because he's doing the Dave's Gone By show. He's having great people on the show like Rabbi Saul and like Jim Kweskin. He's doing segues. He's talking about Greeley, Colorado. He's talking about Broadway. He's doing a Limerick. He's reading Storytime. And he's doing Dave's Big Dick Shinary. That's right. Our last segment of this program, our 652nd, has to do with a word chosen honestly at random earlier in the program by my wife, who thumbed through it. And by the way, let me just make sure that I've got, there we go. She thumbed through the dictionary, like so, and put her finger down on a word. And then my job, as part of this segment, is to think for a bit and try and come up with stuff to talk about involving that word, either anecdotal or stuff in my life, or hell, make up some stuff, whatever it takes. Oh, there are my notes. Cool. And I've had fun doing that for a bunch of weeks now. So the words have included everything from erythrocyte to hue, like the color. What were some of the others that we had? What were a couple of the other words? Chlorate, fob off, nocturne, snobbery, spleen. Spleen was a good one. Tap, ultra. So yeah, this time, of all the words that my wife, all the words out of 75,000 that my wife's finger could have landed upon, she picks, honest to God, by accident, the word virgin. I kid you not. So let me give you the definition of virgin according to Merriam-Webster. It's a noun, an unmarried woman devoted to religion. Isn't that interesting? That is the first definition. Which comes even before, well, a woman who doesn't come, an unmarried girl or woman, especially the mother of Jesus, or actually the fourth definition of virgin, all the way down, is a person who has not had sexual intercourse. How interesting that that is the fourth definition down on virgin. And also it can be an adjective as in free from stain, which, none of my underwear is virginal. I can just say that. What else? Chaste, befitting a virgin, modest, and of course I can't read this without glasses now, but it's fresh, unspoiled, not altered by human activity, like a virgin forest, and also initial and first, our virgin expedition, as it were. So there's our word. That is our Dave's Big Dictionary word for the week. So how am I going to put my big dictionary into a virgin? How will I do this? Well, a couple of things I want to talk about, and no, I'm just not in the mood or the mode or any kind of temperament to talk about how I lost my virginity. Nope, not even. Just be aware, I've been married for 20-something years. I did, a long while ago. It was fun. I was happy to do it. And then let's leave that aside. What else can I talk about the word virgin, though? I can talk, well, something that and people have talked about this idea, what the hell? What is it with olive oil? I know, you wanted me to talk about sex, but I'm talking about olives, because I love you. So, virgin olive oil, extra virgin olive. I had to look it up before, because what the hell is this? You pay more, obviously, for the extra, and the virgin. What is it? It's olives. You take an olive, you smush it, and you get juice out of it, and then you cook with it. So what the hell's the difference between olives and whatever? By the way, I didn't even play the music for Dave's Big Dictionary. Let me do that. Extra, tell all about it. It's Dave's Big Dictionary. So yes, it is Dave's Big Dictionary, ladies and gentlemen. Olives, what do they do? I mean, it's not as if they take olive oil and then they mix it with sugar and bay leaves and lard, and then that's not olive oil anymore. But what they did, it's apparently, and you all know this, I guess, the processing of what they do to get the juice, the oil, out of the olives. So when they do it with the virgin or the extra virgin olive oil, they press it and it's pure and it goes in and it's darker and apparently it's less acidic. No, I hear Rabbi Solomon outside the door saying less acidic than the other types of olive oil. It's a more literally pure, virginal kind of olive thing. Whereas olive oil that's pressed and pressed again tends to be more acid, it tends to be lighter in color, and you don't get as intense an olivey flavor in your olive oil. So that's why people pay more for the extra virgin as opposed to just the virgin, which has a little more processing, as opposed to regular olive oil. Who knows what they do from that? Maybe geese swallow the olives and they have to take the goose shit and turn that into olive oil. Not sure, but it's got more stuff going on between the physical fruit and the stuff that you put in the pan and cook with and put on your salad. So that's my take on virgin olive oil. Since I don't like olives to begin with, I don't care. It's nothing to me. I would happily cook with corn oil. I love corn, sunflower oil, safflower oil. For me, those taste better. But for people who care about this sort of thing, there you go. Okay, not that much to say about. I thought I have more interesting things to say about virgin olive oil. I guess I don't. I would say that at some point after all these years, she should probably put out for Popeye. You know, he's waited. He's fought for her honor against Bluto again and again. It's time for olive oil to at least get to like third base. Yeah. I understand she's probably afraid of Popeye's hand because he's got all those muscles and she's pretty tight and thin. But not going there. Okay. What else do I want to say about the word virgin? What else can I possibly? Oh, another confusing thing. So I didn't know what the hell up until like moments ago the difference between olive oil and virgin, extra virgin olive oil was. The other big confusing thing, me being Jewish, had to do with the Virgin Mary, right? Because of all things, you figure the Bible, New Testament, Old Testament, whatever you want to say, it's a literary work of fiction written by old white men. Some of them Jewish, some of them formerly Jewish. It's just, got some good ideas in it, but really don't necessarily believe that God up on Mount whatever the hell it was, Ararat, wrote it, thousands of words, had literary allusions, storytelling powers, and different kinds of literary style in the first couple of chapters, and the whole rest of the book. Nonsense. Okay, fine. So you've got this book. You would figure that the people who are telling the story of Jesus, in whom I do not believe, but if you're crafting a story, why would you name two people with the same first name? There's so many other names out there, right? There's only one Moses, only one Nebuchadnezzar. It's not like Nebuchadnezzar Jr. I mean, you have one, and then that's it. But somehow, whoever wrote the New Testament thought, you know what? Let's have two women, and they're both important to this person's life, and we'll call them both Mary. Let's make this really interesting, because one of them gives birth to the Savior, and one of them is like the girlfriend of the Savior. We'll call them both Mary. And then you got the Virgin Mary. And it's like, what the hell? How is she? Is this idea that when Mary was pregnant with Jesus, I think this is the thing, that she gave birth to him virginally, or I still get this confused. Or was Mary virginally born, right? And she and Joseph actually had Jesus together. I should have looked this up. Now I've forgotten this. Hold on. I'm going to look up the Virgin Bloody Mary. Bloody Mary is a very different thing. Virgin Mary. Here we go. So according to the New Testament, what the hell happened to her? She conceived Jesus without the help of Joseph. Maybe this was an example of panspermia that we were talking about before. Maybe that comet came down and there were Jesus spores from some other galaxy. And, she was sleeping, went up her dress, went boom, and 9 months later she had a regular, basically human baby, right, through a virgin birth conception. Why they had to make this so incredibly confusing. And then, of course, you've got the Virgin Madonna complex. You've got one Mary who was a virgin, but not really, because she was just a virgin giving birth to Jesus. She was married. She was banging Joseph. And then you've got the whore who became just a good friend of Jesus, a little bit kinky. She apparently washed his feet. She had a foot fetish of some sort. So I can't deal with all this confusion. Just next time anybody writes a Bible, whether it's the Mormons, whether it's the Muslims, whether Jews add some more Apocrypha or they find more Dead Sea Scrolls, don't tell me there's another Solomon. Don't tell me there's another David in the book or another Abraham. That's the other guy who did the two names, Abraham. Because first he was Abram, and then they put the H in his name for God, whatever. I mean, what do you have to do? Do you have to go to downtown to the courts and file papers to legally change his name? Weird book, the Bible. I'm all over the place with this. I probably should have told the story about how I lost my virginity. I'm not going to. What is there anything else I can say about Virgin? Virgin Atlantic? No, I don't think I've ever ridden in a Virgin plane. I like Virgin Records. They were pretty important for a while. They had some good people on them. Virgin Forest? Virgin... Nope. I'm coming up chaste in my brain. I'm coming up empty on this one, although I guess I could talk a little bit about the idea of chastity and this sort of just say no, just be careful idea, or these girls who take these vows when they're 14, 15, 16, or what have you, when they vow they're going to remain chaste. They're not going to have sex. They'll do everything else. I mean, they will take, I guess, I'm not sure about this, but they'll take legs of tables and insert them in various orifices. But the one thing they won't do is let a boy go up in the woohoo. And I guess that's okay. Yeah, if you make that choice, that's your choice. I think it's just like the war on drugs. It's naive, at the very least, to think that you can tell a 15, 16, 17-year-old under peer pressure from friends to say, don't try marijuana, don't try that, don't do that. Don't. If anything, that will only move them to at least try something once or twice every single time. And really the thing is to monitor them and to make sure that they're not doing it every weekend and getting addicted and going with the wrong people and doing it the wrong way. Same thing with sex and same thing with virginity. I mean, it's nice. It's a nice idea that a woman will protect her body, and it is a very personal, intimate thing to let another human being to go physically in, as opposed to just doing stuff on or nice rubby underclothing. Fine. But to mandate that or to assume that kids are just going to be able, when they've been out, when it's prom night, when they're getting really close together, when they're doing foreplay and all sorts of other things, to suddenly stop and say, woohoo, no. It's just not, again, it's a continuous naivete. You can hope and you can tell your kids, hey, abstinence, it's a great thing. Really recommend it. You don't want to do something that you'll regret. Won't it be wonderful if you really wait until the right person or till marriage, if that's the right thing for you, or, until you find the right sheep on the farm and you're like, ooh, that's the one. But, I'm for abstinence, but I cannot promote it. I cannot push it. I promote a common sense approach to that and drugs and guns and, of course, potatoes. I hope that made some sense in our Dave's Big Dictionary segment of the Dave's Gone By radio program of the stream, live with you here on this Saturday, May 26th, 2018. Boy, oh boy, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a very eclectic show, which is what I love. Plus, I really dig doing this show in this room, in my little sanctuary here at the university with all my potato friends, and my beverage, my horn, my chicken. It's all good. And I hope you've enjoyed the show. Now, first of all, you know what? It's earlier than we usually leave here. I mean, it's already almost 12:30, so we're a half hour overtime, but you know me. Let me do a weather check for you. Oh my. Oh man. It's going to be 92 degrees today in Greeley, Colorado, in just a couple of hours later in the afternoon. It's already 85, and that should tell you something, because when I first got here, it was 42 degrees. It didn't feel like it, but the weather app here said it was 42. Felt a lot warmer than that. It is now 85 degrees, mix of sun and clouds, going up to 92. I think this is the first day that we've gone into the 90s since last summer. So a little much for me. It'll be just a little bit cooler tomorrow, the high of 89 degrees with the low in the mid-50s, also a mix of sun and clouds. And then on Monday, looks like we'll get a little bit of relief because we're likely to get rain and some thunder showers, and the high will be only 73 degrees. So we'll have about a 15, 20 degree swing there, and then it'll stay in the 70s for Tuesday. Very nice day, mix of sun and clouds, Warms up a bit on Wednesday, back into the low 80s. And then on Thursday, that'll be a tough one. High of 90 degrees and a lot of sunshine. So you're going to want to bring a hat to cover your baldness, and also some sunscreen too. On Friday, even warmer, 92, with some relief provided by clouds. And then a week from today, next Saturday, June 2nd, it will be 81 degrees for a high. So that'll be a pretty moderate, nice day. And I want to remind you that you want to tune in to this program next Saturday, June 2nd, 9 in the morning Mountain Time, because our guest is going to be veteran actor Lawrence Luckinbill. We mentioned this before. He was in the original 1968 Boys in the Band on Broadway. He also was Tony nominated for Michael Christopher's play The Shadow Box. He was in Star Trek V, the movie, playing Cybok. Whoa, we were talking about George Takei before and the good news about him. So, yeah, this guy who met, I think, George Takei. He also does a lot of one-man shows. He's played Lyndon Johnson. He has played Clarence Darrow. He's probably best known for his one-man show about that. And he's married to Lucy Arnaz, and they've done shows together, too. So next Saturday, our guest in the neighborhood talking to the great Rabbi Saul will be Larry Luckinbill, and we're very excited about that. Also, not that we're not excited every week when we have, Rabbi Saul Solomon with us. Now, Rabbi Saul is the founder and spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York, and you can find out more about him by going to his website, shalomdammit.com. Shalom, D-A-M-M-I-T, shalomdammit.com. That is a place to listen to and read his rabbinical reflections, his little mini sermons. Why did the lighting just change in here? How did that just happen? Because we're talking about Rabbi Saul. He has a direct line to God, and God's like, oh, I'm listening now. Let me pour down some more light. Rabbi Saul also did a one-man show called Shalom Dammit, an evening with Rabbi Saul Solomon. We're thinking in a year or so of bringing that puppy back to New York. May happen, may not, but we're thinking about it. Anyway, you can watch an early version of that at the Rabbi's website, shalomdammit.com, and also watch his hilarious TV show, 10 episodes that he did for a small cable TV thing on Long Island. It's all at the Rabbi's website. And by the way, the Rabbi also has a Twitter feed that he doesn't use much, but you might want to note it down. It's at Rabbi Saul Solomon, at Rabbi Saul Solomon. My Twitter feed is Radio Dave 2. Radio Dave, the number 2. And let's see, what else do I need to tell you? So that's 1 week from today. 2 weeks from today will be, as I stated, our annual Total Theater Tony show, a 4-hour extravaganza of show tunes, of cool interviews with theater critics and theater people, lots of trivia, lots of fun. You don't want to miss it. It will be at 11 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Time, our usual time, on Saturday, June 9th, the day before the Tony Awards. So we always have a fantastic time doing the Tony Show. It's 2 weeks from today. Don't miss it on Dave's Gone By. I want to thank so much to, where did I go? Here he is, to our new friend of the neighborhood, Jim Kweskin. Please find out more about him at his website, jimkweskin.com, Kweskin, jimkweskin.com. He's got samples of his music there, also all his touring information. As a matter of fact, he will be in New York at Joe's Pub this Wednesday night, May 30th. Joe's Pub is part of the Public Theater. It's at 425 Lafayette Street. It's across the street from where Blue Man Group plays at the Astor Place Theater. If you've never heard jug band music, if you want to hear a good time, really fun, nice, playful, folky music, even though it won't really be the washboard probably and the kazoo, it'll be more modern folky instruments. You still want to catch Jim Kweskin and friends. In fact, I think Samoa Williams is going to be playing. This is a woman who sings with him as well these days. It's all going to be happening at Joe's Pub this Wednesday night. I don't know if it's 7:30 or 8:30. Just check the Joe's Pub website at the Public Theater or jimkweskin.com for more information. And we thank him so much for being with us. Thank you to my darling and adorable and wonderful wife, Joyce, for beginning the first part of the program with us. Thank you all for being here in the neighborhood with us and for your messages. Remember to email me, davesgoneby@aol.com. Remember that you can message me right here on Facebook during the show or especially after the show. See, it sounds like I have 7 comments. I'm going to try and read some of them, but it's not allowing me to. I'll read them later, I promise, and sometimes I reply to them. Welcome to Michael and Art and Reggie and Joseph and Ian and all these other folks who've been watching the show. Been great to have you. Great to be here on this Saturday. Let's take another moment to remember the folks who defended this country, our fallen comrades, for Memorial Day on Monday. And doing this program has been a garden of joy for me. Why did I say that? Because there's a song. The song we're going to go out with is one more from the Jim Kweskin Jug Band from the album titled Garden of Joy. So, hope you found some joy in this program and will find lots of joy in the week ahead and gone by.
Here comes a man that you must meet. His name is Billy Bookboy. Oh, he's going down to meet the boys at the Garden of Joy. Oh, he's a man that should not let you know he has nothing but money to spend. He can't be beat. He's not a cheat. He's just a man that you want to meet. Whoa. Let's go down and have one more time. I pray. Whoa. I feel like a blowing breeze. Oh, let's go down and have a time. All I want is one more. Take me to the corridor. Let's go down and have one more time. I pray. Whoa, I feel like a blowing breeze. Let's go down and have a time. All I want is one more wine. Take me to the corridor.
Thank you, everybody. That's been Dave's Gone By for this Saturday, May 26th. I will see you a week from today. Have a wonderful week and gone by.